It's homecoming nights here at Hollister Field as the Pierre Governors take on the Metro Colonels in Week 8 as the push for the playoff continues. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. And for this game here tonight, Greg, it is another run-heavy team, a little bit less misdirection with this Mitchell team, but Parker Phillips, he's the guy for this Mitchell Colonel team and the one the Governors have got to watch out for.
Yeah, and we didn't get a chance to see Parker Phillips last year. During the regular season game down in Mitchell, he'd come down with a virus of some kind, and then he just was not himself the rest of the way, and even in the playoff game here, he just was not 100%. And so we'll see how he is tonight. He's already dealt with at least one injury that has kind of curtailed him a little bit. Even so, he's already well over 1,000 yards rushing, 1,325 yards through 7 games. So he's close to 200 yards a game, over 9 yards a carry, 15 touchdowns. Not a big guy, 5'7", 165. So he relies a lot on his shiftiness and a lot on his speed. And this is really going to come down to one of the keys to the game is going to be how does the strength of the Governor defense, which is their run defense, are they able to contain Parker Phillips and the quarterback, Tucker Vilhauer, who's the second leading rusher on this team.
And, of course, it's a broken record, but we got to talk about it, too, because on the flip side for the Pierre Governors, their rushing attack, led by McGuire Rasky, is a big reason why the Governors have been so successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mitchell's not been great against the run this year. They give up about 160 yards a game on the ground, about 4.5 yards a rush. They've given up over 200 yards of rushing in 3 games this season. And they've kind of been a little bit of a Jekyll and a Hyde defense. When Mitchell has been able to stop the run, they've given up a lot of yards in the air. And when they've been able to stop stuff through the air, they've given up a lot of yards on the ground. They give up a lot of points. They average giving up about 30 points a game, and in the last 3 games, they've given up almost 40 a game. So this is a defense that the Governors can exploit. It's just a matter of how are they able to do it. Last week against Sturgis, the Sturgis Scooper offense just went to town against the Mitchell Colonel secondary and threw for over 300 yards. So we'll see if that's something that Lincoln Keenholz and the offense for the Govs can exploit tonight.
Both teams come off of a loss. The Governors lost to Brookings 21-14 last Friday. Sturgis, as Greg alluded to, they beat Mitchell 44-20 last week Friday. So both teams are looking to get back into that win column here tonight. We'll step aside for 2 minutes. We'll come back and we'll have our coaches' conversations. First, we'll start with Coach Kent Van Overshield of the Metro Colonels. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, as we are set for the coin toss, John Winkler alongside Greg Dean, just about set here for the second to final game, last Friday regular season game. As next Thursday we will play at home here against Douglas, and then potentially this could be the last Friday that we are here at Hollister Field.
Yeah.
As the Governors will most likely have to go on the road in the state semifinals, which would be the next time that they would play on Friday. And so we might be seeing our last Friday game here at Hollister for the 2020 season. Mitchell Colonels, let's see what happens here at the toss. But, Greg, this Mitchell Colonel team, again, they're going to rely on Phil Hauer and Parker Phillips to try and get the job done here tonight.
Yeah, and neither one is very big. Bill Howard checks in 6 foot, 165-pound junior. He will take the snaps from center. He is the quarterback. We saw him last year come on in relief in the second half of the regular season game last year, and he throws the ball very efficiently. But this year they are very run heavy, and they are rely a lot on Parker Phillips, the 5'7", 165-pound senior, very shifty, good speed. They do everything they can to get him the ball. He is a workhorse, even though he's not a very big young man. And so you'll hear us talk a lot about Parker Phillips, a lot about Tucker Vilhauer, and as they get close to the goal line, you'll hear us talk about Josh Grostedier. Parker Phillips has 15 touchdowns on the year, over 1,300 yards. Grostedier only has less than 300 yards, but he's got 12 touchdowns on the year.
As the Colonels, they won the toss. They elect to receive, so the Governors will kick from right to left. The Colonels will move from left to right on your radio dial. As we are playing here tonight, homecoming night, and a good crowd here at Hollister Field. As back deep for the Mitchell Colonels will be Carson Fahey, as well as, can't see what that other number is for this.
Is it 3 and... I think it's Phillips. I think it's 41.
Yeah, will be Phillips and Fahey to return for this opening kick. As we have 12 minutes on the clock for 11 AA football. Final time on Friday nights for the regular season of 2020. Karsten Miller's got it teed up. As he'll walk up towards the ball, and we're underway here on this Friday evening. It's a low line drive kick as it's going to be fielded middle of the field for the Colonels, and then taken down around the 22, 23-yard line. Might have been, it was Joe Van Overshield that got the opening kick. We'll talk about him a lot defensively for this Mitchell Colonel team, but here comes Tucker Vilhauer. He'll lead the offense out. He's only thrown 29 pass attempts. He's got 2 interceptions, no touchdowns, 178 yards on the season. Nick Rubendahl, Adam Fahey, Kendall Fick, Wyatt Winter, and Ben Zebarth are the line from left to right for this Mitchell Colonel team. Parker Phillips in the backfield, Riley Johansson, Jace Larson, Lucas Bennett are the receivers. Jake Helloyd is the fullback. Handoff for Phillips up the middle, and he'll pick up a couple of yards from the 33 to about the 35. A gain of 2 for Phillips on the first play from scrimmage for the Colonels.
Yeah, just an inside handoff. And again, we talk about Phillips not being very big. He's not afraid to run between the tackles at 5'7", 165. 53 degrees at kickoff tonight. Southeast wind at 6 miles an hour. The Colonels dressed in all white with black numbers, black helmets. The Govs black tops, green pants, and green helmets.
An outside rush here for Phillips. He's going to try to get to the sideline. He's tripped up and brought down by Colin Brueggemann. As Cord Ellis made the tackle. As he got nowhere. He got to that 35-yard line. Cord Ellis, he's got 34 tackles now. Does Cord Ellis out of the free safety position? He reads the ball really well and finds a way to get to that ball carrier a lot here for this Pierre Governor team.
Yeah, Cord Ellis provides a lot of run support for this Governor defense, and really has grown and matured out of that safety position over the course of the season.
Van Overshield will get the handoff. He'll go up the middle. He's going to get it up for a first down. He'll power forward as he gets to about the 46-yard line. And Joe Van Overshield doesn't get a whole lot of carries, but Van Overshield will pick it from the 35 to the 45, a gain of 10. And it's a first down here for the Mitchell Colonels from 3rd and 8 to now 1st and 10.
Yeah, and you heard Coach Steve Steele in the pregame talk about the fact that Mitchell doesn't do a lot of misdirection. So what do they do on the 3rd play of the game? They run misdirection to Joe Van Overshield on an inside handoff in the counter, and the Governor's caught a little flat-footed.
Handoff, actually, Vilhauer will keep it himself. He's met by the defensive line, Beestrom and Gunnar Gehring both there, as they'll get no gain and it's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, just you'll see a lot of option out of Mitchell tonight. Vilhauer and Phillips run a lot of that mesh option and really just the key on the reads of the Governor defense. And that time Vilhauer decided to keep it, and he went nowhere against the interior of the Governor line with Gehring and Beestrom stacking him up.
2nd and 10 from the 45-yard line. 9:50 to go here in the first quarter. Opening possession of the game. Vilhauer is going to look to pass here. He's going to lob one up top. Going up top. It's going to fall incomplete, but a pass interference is going to be called on McGuire-Rasky as he got the push just a little bit too early on the intended receiver. So it'll be a first down, and the Colonels will get into Governor territory.
And we talked about the fact that the Colonels don't throw the ball very much. They only average about 7 passing attempts a game, and so they ran Phillips on an up route, on a go route out of the backfield, and ran stride for stride with him, but just did not get his head around. And as he went in to try to break up the pass, just got there a little too early. And unfortunately for the Governors, that's a penalty that'll result in the first down for the Colonels, and they're moving the ball inside of Governor territory at the Governor 40-yard line.
9:46 left to go here in the first quarter. Is 1st and 10 from the 40. Vilhauer from the shotgun. He'll give for Phillips, right, going up the middle. He escapes one tackler, but he'll get to around the 37-yard line where he's dropped down. So a gain of 3, and it's 2nd and 7.
Just that option play, and again, handoff to Phillips in between the tackles, and he was able to ride for about 3 before he was brought down by the interior of the Governor line, and nothing real fancy. And I think that's kind of what we're going to see tonight. A lot out of the Colonels is just kind of an old school ground and pound kind of offense.
2nd and 7 from the 37. 9-10 left to go here in the first quarter. As Vilhauer will keep it himself with a fake, and Vilhauer's up to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, 5 touchdown. Mitchell Colonels, 37-yard run from Tucker Vilhauer. 9:05 to go, and Mitchell takes it straight down the field and scores, and they're up 6-0 here on the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, just again, that mesh option, and Governors bit on Phillips going to the outside, and Vilhauer had a big running lane up the middle, and he wasn't even touched over that 37-yard scamper.
So as just a 6-play drive that will go for a touchdown for this Mitchell Colonel team, and it is 6-0 here for the Colonels as they look for the extra point. And the kick is going to be up and just over the uprights, as it is going to be 7-0. 9:05 to go here in the first quarter. Governor's Trail. You're listening to Pure Governor Football. Today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. It was a 6-play drive. That was a 37-yard run for Vilhauer. And Mitchell has a 7-0 lead over the Pierre Governors with 9:05 left to go here in the first quarter. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean.
Yeah, just exactly the kind of drive that I think Coach Van Overshield wanted to see out of his Colonel offense, taking the opening kickoff. Very efficient, 6 plays, moved the ball over 70 yards with the help of the one penalty, but they did a lot of good things on that drive.
Zebarth will kick it away, as it's going to be a short little squib kick. It's going to be fielded by the Governors and have to fall on top of it at the 35-yard line. They're going to get good field position, but that was very close. That was nearly taken over by the Governors. It might have been Brock Mosher that ended up falling on top of it there to pick it up for the Governors.
Yeah, that was a dangerous ball because it kind of fell in no man's land where it was back of the Governor front line and just kind of in front of the second line of blockers, and they weren't quite sure who was going to take it, and finally somebody jumped on top of the ball.
A keeper for Lincoln Keynoles here on first down. He gets to the 40 to the 45 before he gets out of bounds right at the 46-yard line. A gain of 11 and a first down here for the Pierre Governors. Lincoln Keynoles, he's got 76 for 139, 13 interceptions, 8 touchdowns, 1,200 yards passing so far. Jace Beestrom, Houston Lundy, Gunnar Gehring, Jake Larson, and Denton Beck are the offensive linemen for the Pierre Governors. Aaron Booth and Jack Merkwan are the starting receivers. Reagan Bullway, the starting tight end, and Colin Bergman, the starting fullback for this Pierre Governor team. First and 10 for the 46. Rasky got the handoff. He'll the left side. Rasky will try and get to the 50-yard line. He does. Stiff arms a man, and he runs out of bounds inside Colonel territory, and he'll be spotted around the 47-yard line. And a good gain there for McGuire Rasky on first down.
Yeah, and a play that really ended up being a lot of McGuire Rasky on that play. Just play was actually supposed to come right over the top of Denton Beck at the left tackle position, and Rasky bounced outside and just got to the edge and outran about four Colonel defenders.
Rasky with the handoff again on 2nd and 3 as he'll get inside the 45 to around the 42. A gain of 5 for Rasky, enough for a first down for the Governors. And we might see a heavy dose of Rasky here, at least in this first drive, to try and tie this one up quickly.
Yeah, and so far, nothing fancy out of the Governors. Just some direct, straight ahead rushing plays. A lot of McGuire Rasky and the keeper from Lincoln Keenholz to start.
Empty backfield here. Jace Beecher will move on the first clap from Lincoln Keenholz. So it'll be a false start penalty. Push them back to the 47 where they just were, but it's going to be 1st and 15 as they did go for that empty backfield and wondering if maybe they're going to go for that usual QB keeper when they have that empty backfield and when the run is there for the Governors.
Yeah, and the Governors, again, split 3 out to the right. They've got an unbalanced line. Bolwig is tight on the right side as well.
1st and 15, Lincoln Keenholz will look to pass. He'll step up in the pocket. He'll roll to his right. Now he steps up right up the middle. He's got enough for a first down. He's still moving forward inside the 30 to around the 21-yard line. A gain of 26, maybe 27 for Lincoln Keenholz. And a first down for the Governors. They're going to try and make this pace go a little bit quicker too.
Yeah, and once he got through his progressions, Keenholz saw an opening up the middle and made the middle of the Colonel defense miss once he got to the second level and just had a nice run out of that play.
Play action, bootleg to the right. We'll throw it over, and it's going to be intercepted. And it's going to end the drive as Mitchell Colonels will get the interception. Maybe looking for Bolwig or Colin Bergman, either one of the two. He overthrew Bergman, underthrew, and missed Reagan Bolwig. And Tucker Vilhauer gets the interception for the Mitchell Colonels, and that's a tough way to end that first drive for the Governors because that was a promising one for them.
Yeah, they were moving the ball very well, and the bugaboo that has kind of been the snake bite for the Governors this year has been that interception, and it rises up here on the first drive of the game against the Colonels with 8 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
So now here with 8 minutes left is 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line for this Mitchell Colonel team. Now they got to go 90 yards to try and score. Vilhauer, as he'll keep it himself, he'll try and move forward. He got tripped up, and he will get right to maybe the 11-yard line. Didn't get too much there. And make it 2nd and 8 from the 12.
Yeah, and again, just that straight option play to the left, and the Governors were able to ride Vilhauer to the ground and really didn't get anything going. And that's the thing with this option is that you can contain it, and pretty soon, boom, they hit a big one, and that's what they did on that touchdown play on the last drive.
As again, this will be a handoff for Phillips. He lost his footing. He goes down to the 10-yard line. So he loses those 2 yards that the Colonels just had. And it's now 3rd and 10 from their own 10 with 7:15 to play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and again, a lot of this is, a lot of what Phillips does well depends on the footing. And as we get a little later in the year, this field gets a little more beat up, and sometimes I think so far the footing has been pretty good, but as we get later in the year and the field gets beat up a little bit and it gets a little wet and a little dew on there, you certainly have the potential for a little tougher footing.
As Vilhauer, he tries to keep it himself, as that one's going to be nowhere for Vilhauer to go. He's swallowed up by that defensive line, and that's a 4th down and a must punt for the Mitchell Colonels, and that's a big stop by the Pierre Governor defense because all that momentum was on the side for the Colonels, and it'll be a loss of 3, and it's now 4th and 13.
And with any luck, the Governors will end up with a short field and should get the ball on the Mitchell side of the 50-yard line.
Rasky and Trey Lewis are there for the Pierre Governors. Excuse me, it's going to be Jaden Wiebe and Trey Lewis. Punt will be fielded, bobbled by Wiebe, and he's finally able to grab on. That one bobbled 3 or 4 different times, and then it was Lewis that almost got the ball. Then Weeby ended up just grabbing him, falling straight down, and they're still going to have a short field. It's going to be on the Colonel's side, but boy, that was very dangerous from another turnover from the Governors.
Yeah, just a play, and again, the Governors have struggled just a little bit this year on the punt return side. They've let some balls hit the turf and roll and allowed the opposition to gain some additional yardage on the punts, and that was a play that again got really into the danger zone.
Rasky will get the handoff on 1st and 10 as he'll be thrown down. He took a hit and then he kept moving forward as he'll get close to that first down marker from the 42. He'll go down to about the 33. And it'll be a gain of 9, and it's 2nd and 1.
Tackle applied by Josh Grosdidier, the 6', 185-pound junior linebacker, and Jace Larson, the 6', 170-pound cornerback for the Colonels.
2nd and 1 from the 33. Handoff for Rasky again, right up the middle on the first down. A big hole for Rasky. He'll get to the 20-yard line, a gain of 13. And it's 1st and 10. The Governors are back in to the red zone for the second time.
Yeah, and there was a hole wide enough to drive a Mack truck through on that play, just right up the middle, and Rasky had a lot of running room, and he got through the first line of the defense. It wasn't until he got to the second level before he ran into any kind of Mitchell Colonel defender.
1st and 10 from the 20-yard line, 5:23 to go here in the first quarter. Again, he'll sidestep one tackler, and then 2 different Colonels were trying to pull him back as Rasky tried to keep those feet moving. He got to about the 15-yard line, a gain of about 5. And it's 2nd and 5 here for Pierre.
And the Governors have done a really good job rushing the football. I mean, been one of the strengths of this offense so far this year has been their ability to run the ball, and they're pretty much having their way both up the middle and on either side, running to either side of the formation right now.
Pistol formation here, 2nd and 5. A handoff again for Rasky. He'll bounce it outside the right tackle. He's going to try and get to the sideline. Rasky gets to the 10, the 5, dives for the end zone, and he's in for a touchdown. And the Governors are an extra point away from tying this one up. His 20th rushing touchdown of the season for McGuire Rasky. 4:42 to go, and an extra point away from tying it up.
Yeah, and McGuire Rasky made about 4 moves on that play. He took the handoff, went off tackle, bounced it outside, ran into a defender, put a move on him, got around the edge, and then it was just a foot race to the pylon, and he was able to dive into the end zone. So big time credit to McGuire Rasky on that touchdown run.
Carson Miller on for the extra point. That kick is up, and it is going to be good. 7-7, 4:42 left to go here in the first quarter. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. It was a 4-play, 42-yard drive, a 15-yard touchdown run for McGuire Rasky, his 20th rushing touchdown of the season, 21st of the year. Pierre has 21 rushing touchdowns this year. McGuire Rasky's got 20 of them. Trey Lewis is the other rushing touchdown so far.
Yeah, and give credit to that drive. Give credit to the Pierre defense on that drive. I mean, they rose up after that turnover by the Governors and really bottled up the Colonel defense back deep in their own end zone, forced the punt, and the Governors were able to take over with the short field, 4-play drive, and this ball game's tied at 7.
Right back to Joe Van Overshield on the kick. He's bobbling around, and then the Colonels are finally going to be able to dive on top of it. And it was Carson Fahey that dove on it, and that was very close again for this Mitchell Colonel team. The special teams could come into play here, and not the way that either coach would really like it to be coming into play.
Yeah, and again, I mean, this is probably one of the cooler nights that we've had to play in this year. I mean, 53 degrees. It's gonna cool off into the 40s before this game is over, and sometimes that ball gets a little slick. I mean, your hands dry out a little bit. The grip on the ball just isn't as good, and so you can see how you might end up putting the ball on the turf a little more in a game like this.
1st and 10 for the 20. Van Overshield will get the handoff. He'll go outside the left tackle. He's going to try and get to the sideline. He looks like he stays in back. They'll pick up a couple of yards from the 23 to about the 26, a gain of 3. for Van Overshield.
Yeah, and Van Overshield comes out of a slot position or a wing position on the near side, and it's just almost like a jet sweep, other than the fact he doesn't come in motion. He just heads for the opposite side of the field, and that time the Governors did a lot better job in terms of bottling him up, very much akin to the first time he carried the ball where he broke off a big run.
4 minutes to go. Quick pass. Parker Phillips makes the catch. Trying to get to the outside. He'll be drawn down, hit down as he got to the chains, but I don't think he got actually there. It's going to be about third here for this Pierre Governor team.
Yeah, brought down by Josh Rouse, the 5'10", 160-pound junior linebacker, as well as Cord Ellis, and a good job, a good open field tackle by Rouse and Ellis to get Phillips down. Like we talked about, Phillips, once he gets to the edge, he can break off and he can score from just about any place on the field.
3:25 to go here in the first quarter. 3rd and 1 from the Mitchell 32. From the shotgun, 2 receivers out to the left side here for Vilhauer. They'll take the handoff and give up the middle, trying to get for Grossteeder. He got a first down. Grossteeder has got up to the 46-yard line, a gain of 14 for the Mitchell Colonels, and another 3rd down conversion for Mitchell.
Yeah, Grossteeder, not what you would call the big pounding goal line kind of back, but that's kind of the role that he plays. And on 3rd and short yardage, that was where he was called on. He runs in at 6 foot, 185 pounds for the junior, but runs hard and got the inside handoff and got the first down and then some for the Colonels, and they're operating here just short of midfield.
We a handoff again for Grossteeder. He's able to slip through one tackler, and he's going to be driven down at the 49-yard line. Inside Pierre territory, and it's going to be 2nd down. And a gain of about 5 for Grossteeder.
Yeah, and as Grossteeder took the handoff and got into the middle of the line, the middle of the offensive line, he started to cut back to the near side, literally ran right into Reagan Bolweg, and Bolweg came a wrestler for about 0.3 of a second. And if this would have been wrestling, that would have been 2 points for a takedown because he just put him flat on his back.
Governors would be leading 9-7 right now. Instead, 7-7. Vilhauer keeps it himself. He gets hit by Josh Rouse and falls over, but enough for a first down as he picks up about another 7 to the 43. Pick up a 6 for Tucker Vilhauer, and it's first down here for Mitchell.
And give credit to the Mitchell offensive line. They're doing a nice job running this option offense, and they're not a huge line. They've got Zebarth checks in at 240, Wyatt Winter at 260, but otherwise it's 215, 225, and 195 across the front for the Colonels.
1st and 10 from the Pierre 43-yard line. 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Snap for Vilhauer. Play action. He's going to look to pass on a screen pass. Catch is made by Phillips. He's going to be chased down and tripped up, and a good open field tackle by Austin Foley. Otherwise, Phillips could have been gone, but Foley was able to trip up the legs, and a gain of maybe a half yard on that screen pass to Phillips.
Yeah, a nice play call by the Colonels, and Austin Foley had that pretty well read from the get-go and hung with Phillips and was able to make an ankle tackle. And because, like John said, if he doesn't make that tackle, Phillips has a lot of green in front of him.
2nd and 9 from the 42-yard line. Shotgun formation. Vilhauer, he will keep it. He'll slip through the first line of defense. He gets in the secondary, and he's going to get a first down. He's going to get to the 29-yard line, a gain of 14 for Vilhauer. And that's Pierre's kind of sewn out for Phillips right now, but Vilhauer, he's being patient, waiting for that opportunity, and he busts out another big run.
Yeah, and what Vilhauer does well is he go down on first contact. I mean, he slid through about 3 arm tackles on that play, and he's a tough young man to bring down. And so even though they're not real big, these Colonel backs run hard.
Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Vilhauer will keep it himself. Design play just for him as he'll get to the 20, maybe 28-yard line. A gain of about 1 for Tucker Vilhauer. That one was looked like it was going to start out maybe a potential of an option for Phillips, but he just took it straight ahead and only got 1 yard, and it's 2nd and 9.
Yeah, just if it was not a designed run for Vilhauer, he cut up at first daylight and broke off the option, and the Governors did a nice job, a lot better job of stacking up that option as they ran it to the near side, to the right side of the formation.
Could be the final play of the first quarter with 20 seconds to go. Ninth play of the drive, 2nd and 9 for the 28s. Play action, quick throw on the slant, and that will fall incomplete as they were looking for. It was looking for Simonson, and it falls incomplete. That was a one that Vilhauer, I think he saw how open Simonson was and just completely overthrew him.
Yeah, and we talked about the fact that the Colonels don't like to throw the ball very much. Only average about seven pass attempts a game. They've already thrown 3 here in the first quarter.
It is 14 seconds to go. 3rd and 9 here from the 28. We'll see what the play call is for the Mitchell Colonels. 3-down lineman for the Pierre Governors. As a handoff for Phillips going out to the right side, bouncing out past the line. He's going to try and cut it back. He's going to gain enough to make it at least manageable on 4th down if he didn't get the first down, as he had to get to about the 19, and he's going to be just short as we go to the second quarter. So it's going to be 4th down for the Mitchell Colonels to open up the second quarter. At least 4th and 1 for the Mitchell Colonels. 7-7 here after 1. Step aside for a minute. Come back with the start of the second quarter and a big 4th down play upcoming. You listen to Pierre Governor Football. Today is KCCR and today is KCCR.com. It is going to be 4th and 1 from the 20-yard line for the Mitchell Colonels, and of course they're going to go for it here on the Pierre 20-yard line as they go now from right to left to open up the second quarter. As they break the huddle, we'll see what the play call is. You would think that Phillips or Vilhauer is going to be one to get it. Vilhauer is going to go from under center. Full house set here for the Mitchell Colonels. 2 guys in the backfield. Vilhauer is going to try and just push forward on a QB sneak. Looks like he should have enough, and that line keeps moving forward. He definitely has enough. He's got more than enough as he gets all the way to about the 14-yard line. He picked about 6 yards on that 4th and 1.
Yeah, just a straight quarterback sneak and a lot of push out of the Mitchell Colonel offensive line, and then he got some help from the 3 backs that were lined up in the full house backfield behind Vilhauer, and they just kept their feet moving and kept pushing the Governors back, and Colonels are operating here in the red zone.
Give me the 12th play of the drive. 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Moving from right to left. Second play, second quarter, 7-7 is our score. 2 receivers out to the right side. Vilhauer from the shotgun. He'll take the snap. He'll give for Phillips. He'll try and bounce to the left side. He had nowhere to go, and he's wrapped up right around the line of scrimmage. Maybe fell forward for a yard, but it's 2nd and 9 here for the Colonels.
And one of the things that Parker Phillips has as a real strength of his is, to some degree, is the fact that he's not very big, and you run him into the interior of the line, he can kind of get lost among those big rhinos in the line, and it doesn't take a very big hole for him to pop through, and that's kind of where he was right there. He made a couple of jump cuts, and the Governors did a nice job staying with him and bringing him down after just a short gain.
2nd and 9 from the 13. Minute gone by here in the second quarter. Vilhauer's going to look to his right. Now he's going to try and cut it back, and 3 different Governors are there to pounce on him. And he gets to the 10-yard line, a gain of 3, so it's now 3rd and 6. But, boy, Reagan Bolwig was part of there. Josh Rouse, Austin Foley, a massive humanity there for that Pierre Governor defense to tackle Vilhauer.
Yeah, Colin Brueggemann in on the tackle as well. And again, 4-down territory probably here for the Colonels. 3rd and about 6 here. Game tied at 7. 10:30 to go here in the second quarter. But, again, a nice drive for the Colonels, and they've got the Governor defense on their heels a little bit.
3rd and 6 from the 10-yard line. Two receivers out to the right side. Coach Kent Van Overshield's going to take his first time out here with 10:13 left to go as the Governors and Mitchell Colonels here tied 7-7 here early in the second quarter.
Scores from around the state. In the middle of the first quarter, Sturgis leads Belle-Fourche 7-0. Brookings leads Spearfish 14-0 late in the first quarter. Yankton and Douglas tied at 0 end of the first. Huron 7, Tri-Valley 0. That also late in the first quarter. Other games from the area, Stanley County and Groton are scoreless in the middle of the first. Mount Vernon Plankington 8, Miller Highmore Herald 0. Middle of the first. Jones County White River and Rapid City Christian. The Rapid City Christian leads 8-0 middle of the first. North Border 12, Hitchcock Tulare 0. That's important for Sully Buttes. That game end of the first. Ipswich Edmond Central 16, Sully Buttes 0 late in the first, and Lyman 14, Phillip 8 end of the first quarter.
It's going to be the 14th play of the drive. Coming here for the Pierre Governor, or for the Mitchell Colonels on the Pierre Governor defense. We'll say that Yankton Douglas score is really surprising here at the end of the first quarter. That it's 0-0 there. Douglas with one win, and I believe that's over Spearfish. But that's probably all right now. It looks like that's all they're going to get, but they're playing Yankton pretty tough. So here's 3rd and 6 from the 10-yard line after the timeout taken by Van Overshield. A handoff for Grosstidier, and he's not going to get anywhere. He's going to be shoved to the ground right at the 10-yard line. No gain. It is now 4th down and 6, and they have not had a good field goal unit. They've only had one attempt. It was missed by the freshman, and then they had an opportunity against Del Rapids to win on a field goal. The snap was missed, so they end up losing to Del Rapids. So now we'll see if they're going to go for a field goal or not here, as it's 4th and down from the 4th and 6 from the 10-yard line.
Yeah, and Parker Phillips have been on the sidelines on that 3rd down play, and the ball went to Grosstidier on the interior handoff. Well, Phillips comes off the sidelines here on this 4th down play. He'll be in the slot on the right side.
4th and 6 from the 10. Mitchell's going to go for it. The snap, and Vilhauer's going to look to pass. He's going to throw, looking for the corner of the end zone, up in the air for a jump ball, and it falls incomplete. And the Governors will get a big stand on a long drive by the Mitchell Colonels that comes up empty. 16 plays on the drive, and Mitchell gets nothing. And it's still 7-7 with 9:20 to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and the Governor defense bend but not break. What they were able to do is again, Mitchell looking to go a little more on the passing side in this game. The 4th attempt already of the night for the Colonels. Just ran Van Overshield on a wheel route into the corner of the end zone, and Cordellis was with him stride for stride and was able to knock the pass away.
Rasky trying to break free. He got through 2 different tacklers. He's going to get from the 10 to about the 24-yard line, 25-yard line. A big gain for McGuire Rasky on 1st down, and it'll bring up 1st and 10 again here for the Governors, right at the 25, a gain of 15. And McGuire Rasky right now is 69 yards on 7 carries so far for the Pierre Governors. They've thrown the ball just once, and that was an interception from Lincoln Keenels. 9:05 to go here in the second quarter. From the pistol, another handoff from McGuire Rasky. He'll try and get moving forward. He gets lost in the pile, but he's able to push that pile to about the 31-yard line, a gain of 6 on that 1st down run for Rasky.
Yeah, and just an interior handoff, and nothing real pretty about it, but Rasky able, along with some help from the Governor offensive line, good positive yardage on 1st down, and gained about 7 on that. Again, score still tied 7-7 with 8.5 to go in the second quarter.
2nd and 4 from the 31. Pistol formation again. Lincoln Keenels will grab that snap. It was going off to his right. He's going to hand it off for Rasky. He's going to cut it back, and a flag is going to come in, as it's going to be Matt Hansen that's going to get called for a block in the back. After Rasky got a 1st down at the 40-yard line, but we'll check the flag, and most likely will be coming back here from the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because Rasky made a couple of nice jump cuts in order to garner that 1st down, but it is going to be a block in the back against the Governors, and this one will come back.
And Coach Van Overshield, he is calling a timeout. They're going to get another timeout here. I don't think he's very happy with how his defense is. It's going to push the Governors back. It's going to be 2nd and long here. 2nd and would probably be about 2nd and 10. But a timeout is taken by Coach Kent Van Overshield, his 2nd here in the half. And I believe he's not too happy with how his defense is right now. 8:22 to go here in the second quarter. Back in 30 seconds. You listen to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. 8:22 left to go here in the first half. It is going to be 2nd and 10 after the penalty and timeouts. Penalty by the Governors, timeout by the Mitchell Colonels from this 25-yard line. Coach Nathan Nas, he's not here tonight, but he sent me a text saying he's happy that we get the live stream up and going. You can watch on YouTube at KCCR Sports. He did say if somebody breaks a long run, somebody's going to be running down the sideline because that's what he loves to do. That's how he gets his exercise in. And Coach Lewis is wearing the shorts for Coach Nas here tonight, although it's not too bad, but a little bit cooler. But Coach Lewis has got the shorts on, so Coach Nas always wearing shorts. The only time he wore pants was the Mud Bowl last year against Brookings. He's always going to wear shorts, but he is not here tonight. He's got a wedding this weekend. So thanks for listening, Coach Nas. Appreciate it. And then he's dealing a little bit of anxiety right now, having to watch from afar and watch from YouTube. 2nd and 10 from the 25, 8:22 left to go here in the first half. He says always shorts weather. Just text me. He says always shorts weather. I don't know if we can fully agree with that, but 2nd and 10 from the 25-yard line. High snap again. Rasky will get the handoff. He'll bounce and turn around from a tackler. He's going to lose yards because he's trying to find any way to make something out of nothing, but ends up losing back to the 21, 22-yard line. So it's now 3rd down and long here for the Governors.
Yeah, and again, the Governors had a little bit of trouble with that high snap, and Rasky does not really sit behind Keenholz in kind of a traditional setup for a running back. He's more just off to the side, and so when that snap is high, that disrupts the timing on the play, and that's what happened that time.
Empty backfield here on 3rd and 13. Keenholz will look to pass. He's going to step up in the pocket. He's going to try and run with it. Try and pick up the first down. He slips through 2 tacklers, and Keenholz will get past the 50-yard line, the 45. He'll try and sidestep. He slips and falls down at the 40-yard line. A big run for Lincoln Keenholz on 3rd down and 13, and it's 1st and 10 now for the Governors on the Mitchell 40-yard line.
Yeah, and again, what Mitchell Colonels have had trouble doing is containing that kind of quarterback draw. Sometimes it's a designed run. This one was one, I think, that just Keenholz saw an opening after he started his progressions and just saw an opening and was able to make a lot of green work for him and was able to run for the first down.
Gain of about 38 for Lincoln Keenholz in that 3rd and 13 run. Rasky will
and Rasky really just never got anything going on that play, and he ended up underneath 4 different white jerseys at the end of that play.
3rd and 6 from the 36. Here for the Pierre Governors inside Mitchell territory. They're going to flip the play here as Hanson and Merkwan will go out to the left side. Rasky is in the slots as a 3rd receiver for the Governors on the left side. On the snap, Keenholz will look to pass. He's going to throw, looking downfield, looking for Rasky, and he'll make a catch over his shoulder, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. 22nd time that McGuire Rasky has found the back of the end zone. 2nd time he's made a receiving catch. 5:49 to go. And the Governors lead 13-7 and have their first lead of the game.
Yeah, Rasky just coming out of the slot on the far side and just running a go route right up the seam, and just a very pretty ball from Lincoln Keenholz, and just hit him right in stride. Josh Grosstier for the Colonels, right with Rasky, and Keenholz just put it at a spot where only Rasky could pull it down, and the Governors are now back up on top, or now back in the lead for the first time in this game, 14-7.
Carson Miller's extra point is good. Yeah, 14-7, 5:49 to go here in the first half, back in 30 seconds. Listen to Pierre Governor Football. Today is KCCR, and today is KCCR.com. $5:49 to go here in the first half. A 7-play, 90-yard drive for the Pierre Governors. They had it backed up by 10 yards on a penalty. A 3rd and 13 was converted for the Governors, and that 3rd and 6, the 36 yards for McGuire Rasky to pick up the touchdown as he's found the back of the end zone twice, and the Governors have a 7-point lead.
Yeah, and again, just a real well-designed pass play for the Governors. Keenholz had time to sit back and and read the defense and was able to find Rasky and hit him in stride. And because of that, the Governors are able to go up on top for the first time in this game.
Ball bounced around the 5-yard line. Phillips picks it up. He gets inside the hash marks, trying to go towards that far side of the field, and he'll get to about the 18-yard line. So probably the worst, outside of an interception from the Colonels, is about the worst starting field position that Mitchell has had here in this game.
Yeah, tackle made by Chase Sarda on the kickoff coverage unit for the Governors. And like you said, John, the Governors have the Colonels back inside their own 20 to start this drive. And the last time the Colonels were backed up inside their own 20, it was a 3-and-out. We'll see if the defense can do that again on this drive.
1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. 5:43 left to go here in the first half, as it is going to be Vilhauer with the 2 receivers out to the right side, a receiver to the left, Phillips in the backfield from the shotgun, as he'll keep it on the read option. And Vilhauer runs into his own man and then falls down to the 20-yard line, a gain of 2, and it's 2nd and 8.
Tackle made by Josh Rouse for the Governors, but again, just option right, and Vilhauer on the keeper picked up a couple, and again, nothing real fancy. You're going to hear us probably say that a lot tonight. Nothing real fancy, just kind of physical kind of old school football for the Colonels.
2nd and 8 from the 20-yard line. 5:10 to go here in the first half. 14-7. As Vilhauer will look to pass, he'll throw on the low throw. It's going to fall incomplete, and the catch was not made by Jace Larson. And it's now 3rd and 8 here for the Mitchell Colonels. Vilhauer now 2 for 5 for 7 yards. He's thrown 5 times here in the first half. We don't see that very often from this Mitchell Colonel team.
Yeah, Larson just in the on the wide receiver position on the near side, the left side of the formation, as the Colonels move from right to left on your radio dial, and just a ball that Larson was open just on the curl route, but just underthrown, threw it at his feet, and Larson not able to pick it off the turf, and the Colonels are facing 3rd and long.
3rd and 8 from the 20-yard line. Vilhauer, he'll look to pass again. Vilhauer is going to go over the middle, looking, and it's going to leak. And Keno is going to make the interception. He's going to turn things around at the 40-yard line. The 35 to the 30, a flag comes flying in. Keno's will get out of bounds at the 15-yard line. He might have saw that flag. It looks like it's going to be a blindside block maybe, and it's going to be a penalty from the Governors. They'll push them back. And but though the Governors finally get another interception, only the 5th time they've got an interception here this season.
Yeah, and post-possession foul, so the Governors will keep possession on the ball. It'll just be a matter of where will they take over. It will be a short field because the Governors will take control on the Mitchell side of the 50. Pass was intended for A.J. Simpson, just a post route over the middle, and Vilhauer overthrew him, and Keenholz running stride for stride, actually a couple about a step behind Simpson, and when Vilhauer overthrew him, he actually threw it right into Keenholz's hands, and so the Governors will take over on the Colonel 38, and so this is again good starting field position for the Governors. We'll see if they can take advantage of this Mitchell Colonel turnover.
So here a short field again for the Pierre Governors from the 38-yard line, as it'll be 1st and 10 for Pierre with 4:51 to go in the first half.
Injured Colonel was number 60, Wyatt Winter, the 5'10", 260-pound senior offensive guard for the Colonels, able to walk off under his own power, just probably got the wind knocked out of him, and so he heads to the sidelines to try to take a breath or so, and so we'll see what the Governors can do here. They are, again, operating on a short 14-7 with less than 5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Winter's also the nose tackle, part of that defensive line for Mitchell. Keno's looking for a home run ball in the first play from scrimmage. The throw is up, and the catch is going to be dropped. It was bobbled. Are they going to say it was made? I think they're going to say the catch was made. Jackson Edmond.
I think it's Merkwan.
Merkwan. Jackson Merkwan made the catch. They're going to say it was a completed catch from the 38-yard line all the way down to around the 5. The 33-yard catch for Merkwan. What a play by Jack Merkwan.
Yeah, just trying to take advantage one play and try to catch Mitchell sleeping a little bit. Just a go route for Merkwan on the far sideline. He did catch the ball, had possession, got 2 feet down before the ball was fumbled out of bounds, and so the official right there ruled that he had possession. The Governors are inside the 10-yard line.
Rasky gets the handoff, bounce to the right side of flags coming in. Rasky's going to try and get to the end zone. He's thrown backwards. A hold is going to be called on the Pierre Governors.
Let's back it up and try again.
It'll be a loss of, or the penalty will go 10 yards from the spot of the foul. That referee didn't wait too long. It looked like he almost blew the play dead as soon as the hold was happened by the Governors.
Yeah, and back to the previous play, the Mitchell faithful and the Mitchell coaching staff had some questions for the far side official as to whether there actually was possession by Merquan on the catch, but he did not even flinch. The side judge over on the far side immediately called possession, immediately ruled the catch, and called the play dead when the ball went out of bounds.
4:39 to go here in the first half. First and goal from the 16-yard line. Keenol's takes off, going straight up the middle after the Pago started to collapse, and Keenol's will get to about the 14, maybe 13-yard line, a gain of 2, and it's second and goal from the 14-yard line.
Tackled by Van Overshield for the Colonels, but a good open field tackle. If Keenol's is able to sidestep him, he's got a great opportunity to score on that play.
Second and goal from the 14-yard line. 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Two receivers out to the right side as the Keenol's will look to pass. He's going to step up again in the pocket. He's going to try and take off with it. Miss one tackle, sidesteps another tackle. He's inside the 10, trying to get to the yard line. And it's going to be third and goal here from around the 5 where they had the original first and goal. And so get to the 5, so actually gain of 8 there for Keenol's.
Tackle made by Jacob Schumacher, the 5'9", 160-pound senior cornerback on the near side. If he doesn't make that tackle, Keenol's probably walks into the end zone, but now the Governors are facing third and goal from the 6.
3:30 to go, first half. Pistol formation. As Keenol will throw over the middle, a catch is made by Bullwig, and he's going to walk it in the end zone for a touchdown. Reagan Bullwig wide open. And it's 27-3, 22 to go here in the first half.
Yeah, just a simple crossing route from Bullwig on the side of the formation, lining up out of his tight end position, and just waited for everybody else to clear as the Governors sent 4 other receivers into the pattern, and Bullwig just kind of on the delay comes right across the formation, caught the ball at about the 2, and just walked into the end zone.
Just a quick 4-play drive there for the Pierre Governors as Carson Miller's kick is up, and it is good. 21-7, 3:22 to go here in the first half. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today is KCCR. Today is KCCR.com. A 4-play drive that went 38 yards and a 6-yard touchdown catch from Reagan Bullwig makes it 21-7 for the Governors. They've scored 21 unanswered points here with 3:22 to go in the first half. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean here on this Friday night from Hollister Field.
Yeah, and Mitchell really needs to respond right here. They need to put some points on the board before halftime. I mean, the Governors have just come back after getting their nose bloodied to begin with, going down 7-0 after that initial drive, and the Governors have responded well, putting 3 straight scores on the board here in the late in the first and in the early and middle of the second quarter.
Phillips will take the kickoff to the 1-yard line where the Mitchell Colonels will take over as Trey Burt was there on the tackle. 3:14 left to go here in the first half. Mitchell received the opening kick, so the Governors will get a chance to get that second half kickoff, and they stop here. Another quick score. You go by 21, or all of a sudden, then you get the ball. I mean, you could go up by 28 points here. If you can get one stop, you go by 28 by the next time the Colonels get the ball.
Yeah, and we'll see what kind of philosophy the Colonels want to run here. 3:14 to go before halftime. Real run heavy. They're not a real quick strike offense. We'll see what kind of plays that Coach Van Overshield wants to dial up out of the playbook.
Phil Howard's going to pass. He's going to avoid a sack. He's still going to try and run for it. He's going to pick up a couple of yards. The ball comes out. And it will be, though, out of bounds, and the Governors are able to stay with it as Schultz is the new quarterback here for Trayson Schultz. He's 4 for 24. Schultz will pick up a good 8 yards and get to the 9 yards to the 39-yard line.
Yeah, Trayson Schultz, the second-string quarterback, 6 foot, 160-pound sophomore, but he has seen some action so far for the Colonels, and so we'll see if Vilhauer is. I don't think he's hurt. He's just standing over on the sidelines, helmet in hand, and there's no athletic trainer near him. So this is just a coach's decision. It looks like to maybe shake some things up and maybe utilize maybe a little better passing quarterback.
Phillips will take the 2nd and 2 handoff. He'll try to go to the right side, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds. He's actually going to lose a couple yards from the 39 back to the 37, so it's going to be a 3rd and 4 here on the loss of 2. And Scholes again, we'll see if he passes the ball here as the Governors are looking for that big stop here, and the ball went out of bounds as Phillips went out of play, so it's kind of saved a timeout here for the Pierre Governors. 2:57 to go here in the second quarter. 3rd and 4 from the 37, 21-7 here is our score. And Overshield's got 1 timeout left. The play clock is still with above 10. The referee has not started his count as the handoff will be to the left side for Van Overshield. He's got enough for a first down. He gets all the way past the 45 to around the 48, 49-yard line. A gain of about 12 for Van Overshield, making 11 for Van Overshield. His first down here for the Colonels.
Yeah, and again, probably the most successful play that the Colonels have been able to tonight has been that sort of quasi-jet sweep on the counter. Van Overshield coming this time against the grain towards the near side of the field and was able to pick up the first down.
2:35 to go as Scholes will keep it himself. He tried to spin off the tackler and gets driven to the ground. Reagan Bolwig was there first along with Colin Bergman, and it'll be 2nd down and 10 here for Mitchell, maybe a loss of a half a yard for Scholes.
Yeah, coming into the game, Scholes 4 for 24 on the year with a pair of interceptions, has the only TD pass of the year for the Mitchell Colonels.
That was to Riley Johansson for Mitchell. 2 minutes to go here in the second quarter. 2nd and 10 from the Mitchell 48. Handoff up the middle to the 50-yard line. Grosstier will get to the 49. And a timeout, I believe, is going to be taken by Coach Steve Steele. As 3rd down and around 8. Actually, 3rd and 7 here for the Metro Colonels. But Coach Steele thinking about that 2-for-1 here with 1:55 left to go.
Yeah, big play right here. Probably the biggest play of the first half on both sides of the ball. If the Governors can hold, you will see an immediate timeout from Coach Steele, try to preserve as much clock. The Colonels have the ball just on the other side of the 50, just inside Governor territory. And so if the Governors are able to hold and force a punt here, they'll have to go, in all likelihood, the length of the field to try to put points on the board with less than 2 minutes to go before halftime and only 1 timeout in their pocket.
And from the Governor 49-yard line, they got to get to the 41 to pick up a first down. And they're in outside making it 4th and 1 and thinking about going for it. But if it's 4th and medium to long, you don't want to give the Governors a short field. You're going to have to punt the ball away. 4th and 1, you can probably go for it and then take that risk to try and keep the drive going. But on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7 for the 49, the Colonels have got to be able to find a way to pick it up. As Scholes still in at quarterback. 3 receivers to the left side. Scholes going to try and roll to the – he's going to be wrapped up. He has nowhere to go. He's going to lose yards back to the Mitchell 48-yard line. So he's going to lose those yards back, and it's now 4th down. It's going to be 4th and 11, actually. And another timeout taken by Coach Steele. So they will get the – because Mitchell will have no other choice but to punt the ball away.
Yeah, and really nice play from Gunnar Gearing out of his defensive tackle position on the far side, and just was able to shed his blocker right away. And Schultz never even really got going. Just it was actually kind of a lead route for Schultz. Just kind of a power with a couple of lead blockers, and Gunnar Gehring got into the backfield, broke that up before it ever got going, and so the Colonels are going to have to punt here with 1:51 to go. The Governors leading 21-7, 1:51 to go in the second quarter. So the Governors will have one timeout. They will probably have to go, in all likelihood, 75, 80 plus yards to try to get pay dirt before halftime. We'll see if they can dial something up. They've been able to run the ball. They've been able to pass the ball. We'll see if they can have some success here right before halftime.
Tucker Vilhauer is the usual punter for the Mitchell Colonels. And then maybe the Governors are going to try and send the house here to try and get a block. And a good punts. It'll be over, taking a hop, and the Governors are going to let it just roll. And Mitchell will pick it up. And they're going to have to go just around 80 yards to try and pick up a score here at the end of this first half. 1:42 to go with one timeout. And again, just like college, the clock will stop after every first down you get, but it won't stop for very long. So you're going to keep moving forward. No matter, as long as the clock, not an incompletion, you go out of bounds, you got to keep things moving here pretty quick.
Yeah, and so we know the Governor offense can strike quickly with that big strike capability. Keenholz has been pretty efficient tonight throwing the ball, and they're going to probably send it looks like 4, maybe 5 receivers into the pattern, 3 split wide right on this play.
Empty backfield here, shotgun formation. Keenholz will look to pass. He's going to step up. He's going to try and take off with it. He's going to get from the 22 to about the 25-yard line, a gain of 3. So not the start that they're looking for in the drive. There's still 90 seconds to go. Governor's going to move pretty quickly. No huddle. They know exactly what the next play call is going to be here for this Pierre team with shotgun formation, still empty backfield. 3 receivers out to the left side. Merkwan's by himself here on the near side. As actually Hansen's being by himself. The throw is going to be made by catch is going to be made by Aaron Booth, as he's going to get enough for a first down, so that'll stop the clock momentarily, and they'll get the next. It'll be about a gain of 7 yards for Aaron Booth on that first catch, and the clock will start rolling again here again.
Yeah, Booth just on the out of his tight end position, just a crossing route over the middle, enough for the first down.
And a flag or a whistle is going to be had before the snap. 1:01 left to go. Got to the 34, so it was a gain of 9 for Aaron Booth on that last catch. And it's going to be 1st and 15 after the penalty goes against the Pierre Governors on a false start. So it's with 61 seconds to go, 1st and 15 from the 29-yard line. The Governors going to find a way at least to get in a field goal range to try one for Karsten Miller. Again, empty backfield here for Keenholz. He's going to throw in a slant route for Matt Hansen. He makes the catch. Hansen to the 45-yard line. He slips through one tackler, tries to stiff arm his way out. He's out to the 48-yard line. A gain of 19 for Matt Hansen on his first catch of the game.
Yeah, just a post route from Hansen on the split end position on the near side. If he's able to shake those last 2 tacklers and can able to get to the far sideline, he's probably gone.
Empty backfield again here for Keenholz. He's going to step up in the pocket, roll to his right. He's going to look to throw. Now he's going to take off with it. He's just going to fall down as he'll lose maybe a yard back to the 47. The Governor's got to move here quickly. It's 36 seconds to go. You got to get everybody back and lined up to make another snap here. 30 seconds left. As Chris Burr would say, tick, 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 tick. 28 seconds left to go here in the first half. 2nd and 11 here for Lincoln Keenholz from the 47. Keenholz will throw. That ball might have got tipped. The catch is going to be made out on the left side by Jack Merkwan. He's going to get out of bounds. That's a huge play for Jack Merkwan to get a first down to the 40-yard line, and he's going to get out of play, so it stops the clock with 17 seconds to go. A gain of 11 for Jack Merkwan.
Yeah, just a real heady play for Merkwan to not only get the first down, but then have the presence of mind to get out of bounds and stop the clock. 17 seconds. The Governors still have that timeout in their pocket. They probably need to get about 15 to 20 yards to get into Carson Miller field goal range.
So got one timeout, 17 seconds to go. 1st and 10 for the 40-yard line. Keenholz will look to pass. He's going to try and air it out. He got hits as he throws. It's going to be full incomplete as it went past Keenholz and he goes as a forward pass. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 now with 11 seconds to go, as that one could have been dangerous, not only for the ball going up in the air, but also could have been dangerous in the arm health of Lincoln Keenholz.
Yeah, because Keenholz's arm got hit as he was coming forward, and there was a pretty violent reaction. Luckily, the ball came out. When it came out, it came to the near side where there really wasn't a lot of bodies on either side able to be around that ball.
Keenholz will throw in the middle, overshoots Bullwig, and that one should have been intercepted by the Colonels as it hit the. It looks like Jace Larson right in the hands, and he dropped it, and it falls incomplete. So it's third down now and 10. With 7 seconds to go. You maybe just think, let's get everybody to the end zone. Let's throw up a shot here because you're at the 40-yard line outside of picking up just a couple of yards. But really, you're going to do that to just get yourself in maybe a little bit easier. But Keenholz can throw from the 45-yard line to the end zone in the air. 7 seconds left to go. Third and 10 for the 40-yard line. Keenholz is back to pass. He's going to wait. He's going to throw over the middle. That's going to fall incomplete again. It's fourth down and 10 with 2 seconds to go. And again, at this point, 2 seconds left, just get everybody to go towards the end zone. Bullwig is the intended receiver, and Keenholz overthrew him.
Yeah, and Bullwig had coverage, but just crossing right behind Bullwig was Matt Hansen, and Hansen was on a deep post route. And if Keenholz sees him, hits him in stride, Hansen probably scores on that play. I mean, so the Governors have opportunities. I mean, they've been able to find some open space with this passing game. They'll get one shot here at the end zone here with 4th and 10 and 2 seconds to go right before halftime. But overall, entertaining first half, a really good second quarter for the Governors.
Coach Steele took his last time out here. Court Ellis was checking in to be a receiver and using the speed to get him down the field. And you got to think that this is going to be a shot to the end zone. 2 seconds left to go. The best case scenario, if you don't score, is a potential of a pass interference call. Though with the mass of humanity, it's going to be hard to get a pass interference call. It's got to be very, very obvious, and it's got to be a horrible pass interference call to get that one called. But you get Court Ellis the speed. He's got 3 interceptions on defense for the Governors. So we'll see as Jackson Edmond. You're getting the height in there as well. Aaron Booth, he's coming off. It looks like he's limping a little bit. Maybe he's just walking like Aaron Booth always does stuff too.
Yeah, I think you're going to see. Looks like Merkwan, Matt Hansen, Jackson Edmond, Rasky, Bullwig will be the 5 receivers in the pattern. So you've got some good hands for the black and green going out on this Hail Mary attempt.
And the Colonels are in that prevent defense. 3 receivers out to the right side. 2 seconds to go as a timeout. No, flag's going to come in. A false start is called on the Governor, so they're going to back up at the 45-yard line. So it's going to be 4th and 15 for the 45, and Keenholz going to have to throw a 50-yard bomb here to the front of the end zone. Here's a chance for a hook and ladder play. Just get a crossing route, get a little hook and ladder.
Yeah.
I told Coach Steele on Twitter that he should run that because there's a picture of a little kid dressed up as Billy Bob from Varsity Blues. So I get my little Billy Bob reference in here.
You might have an opportunity.
If he does that, I don't know if I'm going to have the opportunity just because I'm going to be laughing too much. That actually came true. 4th and 15 from the 45-yard line. 3 receivers out to the right side. Empty backfield here for Keenholz. They're going to throw it out for a quick screen pass. Merkwan's going to make the catch. He gets to the 35. He's going to cut for the 30, and he's going to get to about the 25, 26-yard line where he's brought down. So he picked up 19 yards, but that was all they got. Enough for a first down, but that's going to end up the end of the first half. Here Governors lead 21-7 at the break over the Mitchell Colonels. We'll step aside for 3 minutes, come back with halftime stats. Listen to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, it is halftime. The Pierre Governors, they lead 21-7 over the Mitchell Colonels. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. Greg, so far this first half, Pierre Governors outgaining the Mitchell Colonels 297-136. Both teams with an interception to their credit, or I guess to their discredit. But the Governors have found a way to utilize McGuire Rasky a little bit more than the Mitchell Colonels have utilized Parker Phillips and Tucker Vilhauer.
Yeah, and I think the Governor defense, after that initial drive, kind of had them back on their heels, has really kind of risen up and done what they've needed to do. I mean, they've made a couple of forced the Colonels into a couple of 3-and-outs, have done a nice job of really, kind of bottling up Parker Phillips tonight. I mean, a young man who has come into the game averaging almost 190 yards a game on the ground, over 1,300 yards rushing, and so far he's not been a huge factor in the game. I mean, if anything, Tucker Vilhauer, who got subbed out of the game on that last drive, he was actually probably a little more effective runner, and then Van Overshield on that counter play has been effective for the Colonels. But otherwise, the Governors have done a pretty good job defensively. Offensively, the Governors have just about been able to do anything they've wanted to do. There's been rare times when they have been shut down. There's been some really big holes in the middle of the offensive line. A lot of credit to that senior laden offensive line. Lincoln Keenholz has made some good decisions, pulled the ball down, found some running room in the middle after he has seen some openings. And again, McGuire Rasky just having another McGuire Rasky kind of night.
Lincoln Keenholz right now is he got 133 passing yards, 91 rushing yards. He's got 224 yards by himself. Obviously, he's thrown to 5 different receivers. Jack Merquan's the only one with multiple catches. Reagan Bolwig's got a touchdown reception. McGuire Rasky with a touchdown reception, and Rasky got 73 yards rushing to 10 carries. Rasky and Keenholz are the only 2 guys that have rushed the ball. Keenholz has thrown to 5 different receivers. Jack Merquan with 3 catches. Booth, Hanson, Rasky, and Bolwig each with a catch. When we've seen Lincoln Keenholz have his success in the passing game, those numbers, those guys, the receivers, he likes to make my life a little bit more difficult because I only got a spot for 6 receivers. When he's the most successful is when there's more than 6 receivers that I get into making a catch. And he's had 5 different guys make a catch for 133 yards. He's 7 for 11, 2 touchdowns and an interception. That was his first pass of the game. He's been 7 for 10 other than that. That's what Lincoln Keenholz, when he's successful, this is the game where he's successful.
And we talked about in the pregame that this could certainly be a game where Lincoln Keenholz and the Pierre passing attack could find some success. And so far that has been the case because the Colonel secondary has been somewhat porous this year. Last week, as an example, they gave up 44 points to Sturgis and over 300 yards passing to Owen Cass, the sophomore quarterback, out for the Scoopers. And so tonight, here's another sophomore quarterback that is kind of finding a lot of success and finding a lot of open receivers inside of that Colonel secondary.
You're speaking of another double. There's one AA score here tonight that is very eye-opening because there's an undefeated team that is not handling the business like everybody thought they probably would here tonight.
Yeah, and so far, probably even though Pierre Mitchell is probably the game of the night in AA, number 3 Pierre, number 5 Mitchell, the game of the night score-wise is down in Yankton. Undefeated Yankton and 1-win Douglas are tied at 7 at halftime. Douglas making the cross-state trip to Yankton, and you got to wonder what's going on and what kind of conversations are being had in the locker room at Crane Youngworth Field among that Bucks coaching staff right now.
Because that is one score that of all the scores that I'd be positive would be happening, that would be the score that I would put the most money on for the Yankton Bucks to win. But it's 7-7 right now at halftime, and this Pierre Governor team, that they took one on the chin, as you said. The defense has played well after taking that first one on the chin where Mitchell went straight down, had no problem with the first touchdown, and since then they've just have gotten no. They had, I believe that was over half their offense came from that first drive. They have out the last 4 possessions that they had to have did not exceed the total that they had in that first drive.
Yeah, and that was again. We talked about in previous weeks that coaching staffs kind of like to see how their teams respond when they have to face a little adversity, and this Pierre Governor team has faced a little adversity coming off of a loss last week, a tough loss last week to Brookings, a game that they certainly were in, certainly had an opportunity to win. Just unfortunately, were not able to seal the deal on that one, and then give up the first drive this week. And the Colonels bloodied their nose, but I tell you what, when the Governors were able to stop the Colonels short of the end zone after that long second drive of the Colonels, that really kind of flipped the momentum, and the Governors were able to go down quickly and score, tie the game, and then it's been all Governors ever since then.
And we saw the reverse of that last week where Brookings stopped Pierre and then got the momentum and then quickly scored and ended up winning the game over the Pierre Governors. So now here we see the Governors get that defensive stand and they turned it into points, and it's been all Pierre ever since.
Yeah, and so we'll see what kind of adjustments both teams make at halftime. I mean, it will be interesting to see what Mitchell does with the quarterback situation. Like I said, did not see any kind of an injury for Tucker Vilhauer, their second leading ball carrier, over 700 yards rushing. But in that last drive, the decision was made to go with Trayson Schulz, the 6 foot, 160-pound sophomore at the quarterback position, and again, the Colonel offense just kind of sputtered with him in there as well. So it'll be interesting to see what the Colonels do here in the second half of the quarterback slot.
Governors lead 21-7 here at the break. We'll step aside for 3 minutes, come back with more halftime and also more scores from around the state. Listen to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, we are at halftime, 21-7. Governor's lead. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean.
Yeah, score update from across the state. Sturgis, middle second quarter, leads Belfouche 21-0. Brookings all over Spearfish in the middle of the second quarter, 50-0. Yankton returns the opening kickoff of the second half and now is up on Douglas 14-7. Huron leads Tri-Valley 21-8 at halftime. Other scores outside of 11 AA. Stanley County has a 6-0 lead over Groton, that at the half. Mount Vernon Plankington up 16-0 over Miller Highmore Herald late in the second quarter. Rapid City Christian up 32-8 over Jones County White River in the second quarter. For Sully Buttes fans, a couple of scores not going their way. North Border leads Hitchcock Tulare 34-14 late in the second quarter. And Ipswich Edmond Central all over Sully Buttes 32-0 at halftime. And Lyman and Phillip are locked in a knockdown dragout, 2016 Lyman, that also at the half.
Some pretty good football scores here across the states. And last Friday of the regular season, 11 AAA, AA, and will play next week in the regular season. But 11B and all 9-man will start their playoffs next week, Thursday, and they'll play two rounds of playoffs before they get back to Friday night again. The state semifinals will be the next time that we play on Friday nights.
Yep, and again next week, if you're planning a trip to Hollister Field, the Governors play not Friday next week, but Thursday night, and that is a 6 o'clock kickoff. At least that's the schedule. At least that's the posted kickoff time against Douglas. So plan on 6 o'clock next Thursday night here at Hollister Field against the Douglas Patriots.
Yeah, the Governors will look to finish out the regular season and then wait to see who they play in the first round. And it could be another 6 o'clock game on that Thursday again, or it could be back to 7 o'clock. We'll see how that scheduling happens. But the Governors will turn their attention to Douglas after this half of football is over with. We'll be back in 3 minutes with the start of the second half. You're listening to Pierre Governor of Football. Today is KCCR, and today is KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. We're not allowed to talk about what just happened before we got back.
We just have far too much fun in the commercial breaks.
That's right. Yeah. The Governors lead 21-7. Tonight, watching the game, she might not listen. So, Governor ball to start the second half kickoff as Pierre will look to score and go up by 21 here against the Mitchell Colonel team. And Greg, this is what the Pierre Governors want to see. They want to be playing their best half or their best football here going into the last couple of games of the season. And here going in the second half, you want to put the pedal to the metal here and drive the score up if you have to. Don't you can be good sports about running up the score on somebody, but saying we want this Pierre team to be playing their best here going in the last game of the season.
Yeah, and they really have done a nice job in this first half. I mean, you take away that, like we said, you take away that first drive of the Colonels, and they've really done a nice job because Parker Phillips has 7 carries tonight for 10 yards. And for a young man that averages almost 190 yards a game, 15 touchdowns, the Governors really have done a nice job. And then when Phillips has not carried the ball, they've been able to bottle up the other Mitchell ball carriers, whether it's Vilhauer or Gross Didier or Van Overshield. And so the Governor run defense, we talked about this coming in, really probably the strength of this Governor defense, again, has risen to the occasion so far tonight. And even though they've given up a couple of drives, only 7 points on the board for the Colonels. And so the Governors just really kind of just need to keep doing what they're doing in the first half and carry that over into the second half. They'll get the ball to start the third quarter, and we'll see if they can put another score on the board.
I think Keenels is 7 for 11, 133 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception so far, 91 yards on the ground on 8 carries. McGuire Rasky was 73 yards on 10 carries. McGuire Rasky had a quiet first half. He did score on the ground, but those last 2 runs were not the usual McGuire Rasky. They were able to bottle up Rasky very well to the Mitchell defense. But here in the second half could be a different story. I would think that McGuire Rasky are going to try and get him the ball quite a bit to get him really moving here in the second half. Yeah,
and even though Rasky had 10 carries, you got to expect it will probably be a heavy dose of McGuire Rasky. I mean, that's and we asked Coach Steele 2 weeks ago how easy McGuire Rasky makes his job, and this is just the kind of night where you just call number 14 repeatedly and you balance it enough. If the Colonel defense spends too much time paying attention to McGuire Rasky, Lincoln Keenholz has done a nice job in terms of making decisions, pulling the ball down when he's gone back to pass. He's found a lot of running room, especially in the middle of the field. And so he's made some nice decisions tonight. He's thrown a couple of very nice balls, and the Governor offense is really clicking tonight.
As it will be for the Mitchell Colonels. Joe Hayden will kick it away for the Mitchell Colonels. McGuire Rasky, along with Brock Mosier, are back deep for the Pierre Governors. So we are set for the second half, going from left to right, the Governors, and we are underway as Hayden will go back for McGuire Rasky, the 10-yard line. He's up to the 15, to the 20, straight up the middle of the field, out of the 25 to the 30. Tried to bounce off a tackler. He's still moving forward. Rasky's out to the 35 to the 40. How did he get through that pile? He's out of the 45 where he gets to push it about to the 45-yard line. Rasky got another 20 yards after he was just bottled up, and all of a sudden, here he comes spitting out the side of the big pile right there, and he gets another 20 yards.
Yeah, and just McGuire Rasky is a guy who just does not go down on first contact, and he went into the middle of the pile, kept the feet churning, arm tackles from the Colonels, and Rasky's able to slide out of them and able to bounce it to the edge and get to the outside and get, like you said, about another 20 yards.
A face mask is called on the Mitchell Colonel, so there's going to be 2 face masks, one on each team, and it'll all set, and it'll be first down for the Governors at the 43-yard line. So both teams, I'm assuming Rasky got a hold of the face mask as well to get that offsetting face mask call. So pistol formation here, 1st and 10 for the 43-yard line. Receiver on each side for the Pierre Governors. A 5-down lineman for the Colonels. They're going to throw over the middle. Catch is made by Bolwig. You get a block from Aaron Booth. He's out to the 45 to the 40 in Mitchell territory. 35-30. He's got a man dragging him down. He gets down to the 31, 32-yard line. And a big gain for Reagan Bolwig to open up the second half for the Governors.
Yeah, just a quick crossing route, and Bolwig was wide open, just about 7 yards downfield. Just an easy pitch and catch from Keenholz to Bolwig, and Bolwig got a full head of steam as he was able to get to the edge and turn the corner. And the Governors are operating deep in Colonel territory here in the early in the third quarter.
Rasky will carry a man with him as he'll get close to a first down. He will get to a first down for the 27 down to the 16. A gain of 11 for McGuire Rasky. It was a gain of 31 for Bolwig on that catch. And it's 1st and 10 quickly here for the Governors from their Mitchell 15-yard line. We've played 30 seconds of football here in this second half. 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. Receiver on each side. Rasky again with the handoff up the middle. He'll hop over one leg and he'll get over to the 10-yard line. There's a stray leg that was, well, I guess it wasn't really a stray leg, but it looked like a leg. He just hopped over to make sure he didn't get tripped up. He gets to around the 9-yard line. He gets a 7 for Rasky.
Yeah, it was still attached. It wasn't stray.
Yeah. It looks like we have a injured Mitchell Colonel.
Number 75 is Cayman Max, the 6 foot, 230-pound sophomore. Got to believe he is the younger brother of the Max twins, Carson and Carter. Yep. Who were strong staples in this Colonel football lineup for about 3 years.
2nd and 3 for the 9-yard line. They get Max off for a play. Rasky will get the handoff again and go to the left side. He's going to try to get to the end zone. He is in for another touchdown. McGuire Rasky from 9 yards out. It is 27-7 with 10:40 to go. 1:20 seconds of a drive for the Pierre Governors. They lead by 20.
Yeah, just hand off in the middle, and McGuire Rasky is able to pick and weave his way through the Colonel defense, and the Colonel defense is back on its heels. I mean, that was a quick strike, minute and 20 second drive for the Governors, and pending the Miller PAT, they will go up by 3 scores.
And they will not go up by well, I guess they'll still be up by 3 scores because they're up by 20 here, 27-7, as it was no good on the extra point. So a 20-point lead for the Pierre Governors, 10:40 to go here in the third quarter. Back in 30 seconds, you're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. As it is a 27-7 lead, John Winkler alongside Monty Python. Greg Dean here, 10:40 to go in this third quarter. The Governors lead by 20, as it was a 4-play, 57-yard drive, 9-yard touchdown run by McGuire Rasky. The third time he's gotten in the end zone. Two times on the ground and a receiving touchdown grab for McGuire Rasky.
Okay, I got to get back in football mode. I got too much Monty Python on the brain right now.
It's just a flesh wound.
It's just a flesh wound.
As Carson Miller will kick it deep here for the Pierre Governors, as that one will go out of bounds, and it'll be a penalty, and the Colonels will get in some really good field position here on their first drive of the third quarter.
Yeah, and unfortunate break for the Governors on that kickoff. They will get an illegal procedure penalty, and the Colonels will put the ball in play. Let's see, where do they put it in play?
It's a 35 is where they set it down.
Okay, yep, you're right. And the official wasn't quite sure exactly where he was on the field. Started to spot the ball at the Mitchell 45-yard line, and then got corrected by one of the other officials. So the Colonels take over 1st and 10 on the 35.
Handoff for Phillips, trying to move forward, and he will fall forward to the 37-yard line, a gain of 2. Parker Phillips just 12 yards on 8 carries so far. He's got 1,300 yards so far this season, 12 tonight here on 8 carries. The Governors have made him almost non-existent so far.
Yeah, and this is a young man that averages over 9 yards a carry so far this year. 8 carries, you would think he would be up between 70 and 80 yards. He's got 12 tonight.
Vilhauer is back at quarterback for the Mitchell Colonels as he will hand it off again, and going nowhere is Phillips. He's towards the line of the forward progress was stopped behind the 36-yard line. He's going to lose about a yard back to the 36, so it's now 3rd and 9 here for the Mitchell Colonels.
Yeah, the Governor front three of Gunnar Gearing and Preston Taylor and Jace Beestrom are really doing a good job manhandling that Mitchell Colonel offensive line, and Phillips just is getting no running room between the tackles right now.
3rd and 9 from the 36, 9:25 to go here in the third quarter. Governors lead 27-7. 2 receivers out to the right side. Vilhauer's going to look to pass. He's going to look to his left. He's going to throw downfield. He's going to try and go against Keenholz again. And it's going to be tipped. Almost intercepted by Keenholz, but it's going to fall incomplete as he was looking for number 14, A.J. Seamson. And it will be another incomplete pass by Vilhauer. It's going to bring up 4th down. The Colonels are going to put the ball away as Vilhauer is now 2 for 7 for 7 yards. He had his first 2 passes. He's been 0 for his last 5 with an interception to his credit.
Yeah, and just a straight go route for Seamson down the kind of down the numbers, and Keenholz running with him stride for stride, and Vilhauer throws up a 50-50 ball, and Keenholz almost comes down with his 2nd interception of the night.
The low snap, they're going to try and fake it. They're going to try and get to the outside towards the sideline, and Mitchell's going to pick up a 1st down, getting out of bounds. The flag's going to come in very late, as it was going to be Tucker Vilhauer who carried it 11 yards to the 46-yard line. And then a flag comes in and say it's going to be a late hit on the Governors. And it's going to attack on another 15 yards. That's a huge play. It's going to gain a 26 overall for Mitchell.
Yeah, and just actually the result of a bad snap. Vilhauer had to corral a bad snap down at his ankles, and that broke up the timing on the punt coverage, and he was able to find some opening on the left side and got to the edge, and then it was a foot race to the 1st down stick, and as he got past the 1st down stick and went out of bounds, Jaden Weeby kind of dove right at his ankles and created the late hit play, and so because of that, it's a personal foul, and the Colonels are in business inside the Governor 40.
1st and 10 from the 39-yard line in Governor territory. Van Overshield gets the handoff. He's able to slip through the tackle of Sarda. He's going to get out to that is Austin Foley, as he's going to get out to the 38-yard line, a gain of about 1 for Van Overshield.
Yeah, and again, Van Overshield on that sweep to the far side, and Austin Foley shooting from his linebacker position really did a nice job of creating havoc and broke up that play in the backfield, and if he's able to get Van Overshield on the ground, it's probably a loss of about 5. Van Overshield slips out of the tackle, able to get back to the line of scrimmage and pick up 1.
2nd and 9 as it's going to be a keeper for Vilhauer. Flag came flying in and hit Vilhauer in the helmet as he's going to get back to the 39-yard line. He's going to lose back a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 10 as of right now. We'll see what the flag is. It's a hold on Mitchell, and it will be accepted by the Governors. So to be 2nd down and long here for Mitchell. They go all the way back to their Pierre 48-yard line. So be 2nd and 19.
Yeah, and what the Governors have done well is when you play defense against an option, you have to be very disciplined, especially your guys on the ends and your linebackers. They've got to run their keys, stay with their guy, and the Governors are doing that tonight.
A handoff for Phillips coming here to the near sideline on the sweep, and Phillips will get a couple of yards back. He'll get inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down and long. Right at the 44, they'll spot him. A gain of 4. And it's going to be 3rd and long for Mitchell again, and this time, well, I guess they did stop him on the last 3rd down, but they got to be able to maybe stop him again on another 4th down.
Yeah, and get a lot of credit to Reagan Bolwig on that play, the near side defensive end, who really just kind of strung that play out. And it wasn't until the end where Phillips really had almost run out of ground up against the near side sideline before he was able to kind of break it up and get a little bit of positive yardage out of the play.
3rd and 15 for the 44-yard line. Vilhauer, he's going to look to pass. You have to step on the pocket as that one quickly collapsed. He's going to escape and gain a couple of yards, a yard to the 42, and it's 4th down, and a flag will come in at the end, and I think that's going to be on Nick Rubendahl, as he was talking to the official. A sportsmanlike penalty is going to be called on the Mitchell Colonels, and it's going to back about 15 yards as after the play was over, so it's going to be 4th down and very, very long here after they pick up just 1 yard. They're going to be like 4th and 29 here for Mitchell.
Yeah, and you could see that coming. Rubendahl was walking back to the huddle with the official, with the head referee right by his side, and you could tell they were talking. And the referee took about 2 steps in that conversation and pulled the laundry out of his pocket. And I don't know what Rubendahl said, but it was something that didn't sit well with the white hat. So
now it's back in Mitchell territory again from their own 43-yard line where they got to punt the ball away. 2 guys are back deep for the Governors. A little line drive kick. It's going to be fielded by Lewis as he's going to try and spin around, and he'll be dropped around the 40-yard line, be just shy of the 40-yard line. So right where Mitchell had that 1st and 10 set with the chains is where the Governors will take over.
Yeah, and this time Governors were able to stay in their lanes, not allow Vilhauer any opportunity to even though better snap this time from the Mitchell punt coverage unit, but not a good kick, just a low line drive kick, and Lewis able to pick it up on 1 bounce and get a couple of yards on the return.
1st and 10 for the 38. So Mitchell is going to bring in pressure, and Keno's going to be dropped for a sack. So lose from the 38 all the way back to about the 32-yard line, a loss of 6, and it's 2nd and 16 here for Pierre.
Yeah. Lots of pressure right up the middle. Van Overshield out of his middle linebacker position, just sold all out on the blitz prior to the snap, and Mitchell was able to bring the house, and Keno's just didn't have any time to even look downfield and went down for a loss of about 5.
2nd and 15, 6:20 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Keno's going to roll to his right. He's going to try and find some time to throw. He's going to throw the sideline. Rasky comes back, makes the catch to the 40, to the 45, where he gets out of bounds, just shy of the marker. And a good play there from Rasky to come back. Keno's was able to buy enough time to get that throw to Rasky. Keno's is a little limping here after he made that throw to Rasky, but a gain of about 13. And it's 3rd down and now 2 here for the Governors.
Yeah, and nice job by Keenholz to avoid the pressure and get outside. Made a play with his feet, and give credit to Rasky. The completion was for about 5. Rasky picked up another 8 because the Colonels did not get him down on the ground on first contact. Again, good yardage after first contact for McGuire Rasky.
3rd and 2. Rasky gets the handoff. He's got up for a 1st down. He bounced off of a tackler, and he went into the Mitchell territory as he goes to the 46-yard line. And he goes from 146 to the other 46-yard line.
Yeah, and I think that was Jake Helleloyd, the 180-pound linebacker for the Colonels, that actually acted like a pinball machine and actually hit Rasky and actually bounced him forward about 3 yards right after the hit, and Rasky is able to pick up the 1st down on the play.
Rasky gets the handoff going right up the middle. He gets spun around, but he falls forward to the 40-yard line, a gain of 6, and it's 2nd and 4 as Rasky up to 116 yards now and 15 carries on the evening.
Josh Grosdidier coming from behind on the play out of his linebacker position, able to make the tackle for the Colonels, but not before Rasky is able to penetrate that first line of defense and get into the second level. And actually Grosdidier threw a post route coming across the middle from the far side, but he had Colin Brueggemann coming underneath, who was wide open. And after the ball went by him, Brueggemann's just standing there looking at Keenholz with his hands out and just going, "Hey, that one should have been for me. I could have caught that one."
2nd and 10 for the 31. Handoff for Rasky up the middle. He gets a big hole. He bounces out the left side. He'll get to the 25-yard line, and he'll be able to get a couple more yards as it'll be 3rd and manageable here for the Governors as they'll get to about the 23. It'll be third down here in about 3 here for the Governors.
Yeah, and Rasky just up the middle, and again, he's able to get through that first line, that first level of the Colonel defense on just about every play, and he's not going down until he gets into the linebacking core on just about every rush attempt for the Governors.
Rasky will get the handoff, try to pick up those 3 yards to the 21. I think he's going to be a yard short. He's up to the 22, so it'll be 4th down and 1 here for the Governors, as it's 4:10 to go here in the third quarter. 4th and 1 from the 22, 27-7. The Governors lead by 20 here in the third quarter. They were able to score on their opening drive of the second half. This is just their second drive of this second half. 4th and 1 from the 22-yard line. A handoff for McGuire Rasky, trying to pick up that 1 yard. He's going to get to the 20, out to the 15, got it back to the 10, trying to get to the 5-yard line before he gets out of bounds, but he got enough for a first down. And it's going to be 1st and goal for the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, Rasky took a play that was designed to go off tackle, and it really was kind of stacked up in the middle nicely by the Colonel defense, but Rasky able to read the play and bounce it to the outside, and once he got to the edge, it was a foot race to the outside. He was able to turn the corner, got inside the 10, and the Governors are in the red zone. 1st
and goal from the 9-yard line. Play action. Keenholz will throw across his body. It's going to fall incomplete, looking for Colin Bergman. Bergman was open, but that's a tough throw across your body like that.
Yeah, and Keenholz faked Rasky into the line on the play action, and then bootlegged out to the left, and as a right-handed thrower, Keenholz has got to get those shoulders square. And like you said, John, he had Bergman open, coming across the pattern from right to left, but just had about three Colonels in his face when he did.
2nd and 9, 2nd and goal for the 9. Throw the Rasky in the flats. He's going to try and get it one more time with a screen pass. And Rasky is diving into the end zone for another touchdown. 33-7 Governors lead. Rasky's second touchdown grab of the game. 4th time he's been in the end zone. And the Governors lead by 26 with 3:34 to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah, just a swing pass out to Rasky on the left side, and kind of an easy pitch and catch. And then it was just Rasky doing it on his own from there. And he was able to get down to about the 2, and then was able, again, after first contact, still able to make some positive yardage, get across the goal line, and the Governors are up.
Governors are going to go for the 2-point conversion. They're going to get it. That was a design fake because they were going for that extra point, and then Keenholz just stepped back as soon as he got the pass, as soon as he got the snap, and threw it in the end zone for a quick 2-point conversion. It's 35-7 now with 3:34 left to go here in the third quarter. Back in 30 seconds. Listen to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. $35-7, 3:34 left to go here in the third quarter. Governors have a 28-point lead. Joe Wiggler alongside Greg Dean here on this Friday evening. As the kickoff for Carson Miller, it'll be fielded on the hop by Phillips, 15 to the 20 to the 25, where he's going to be dropped around the 26 or 27-yard line.
Scores from around 11 AA in Tri-Valley. Huron leads the Mustangs 21-8 early in the fourth quarter. Yankton has now taken control of their game at home with Douglas up 28-7 early in the fourth quarter. Brookings all over Spearfish late in the third quarter, 57-0. That game with a running clock. And still at halftime, the last score we have from Sturgis is leading Belle-Fourche in Belle-Fourche 21-0.
1st and 10 for the 26, 3:29 left to go here in the third quarter. Two receivers out to the left side. The Colonels down by 28. Bill Hauer, they'll hand off, looking for Phillips to go up the middle. And going to get nothing right back at the 26-yard line. Maybe a half yard to a yard. Be second at about 9.
Gunnar Gehring on the tackle for the Governors, and again, Parker Phillips just not able to generate any offense tonight for the Colonels. 11 carries, 16 yards. A lot of credit, especially to that Governor front three, Gehring, Taylor, and Beestrom, really doing a nice job bottling up that Colonel rushing attack tonight.
2nd and 10 from the 26. Bad snap. Vilhauer's got to pick it up on the bounce. He's going to try and roll with it. He stiff arms the man. He's actually going to try and pick up. He will pick up some positive yards. First hit. And Vilhauer is actually going to be able to get past the 30-yard line to the 32. A gain of 6 for Vilhauer. And that could have been disastrous for the Colonels. And it turns out to be a little bit more disastrous for the Governors.
Yeah, a bad snap, and Vilhauer has to retreat about 7-8 yards to pick up the ball, able to scoop it up, and then Vilhauer has good speed, able to stiff arm Reagan Bolweg and get away from Bolweg in pursuit, and then able to just get to the edge and was able to make about 6 yards on the play.
3rd and 4 here for the Colonels. Van Overshield gets the handoff. He escapes a tackle around the neck, and he's going to be able to barrel forward to around the 37-yard line, enough for a first down. He stepped out of bounds at the 37, so he picked up those 5 yards and enough for a first down for the Colonels.
Yeah, and again, Van Overshield is a hard runner. He's not a real tall young man. They list him at 5'10". I'd be a little surprised if he's 5'10". He looks closer to like 5'8" possibly, but he does check in at 190 pounds. He's probably all of that, and he runs hard.
2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Vilhauer, quick screen pass out of the right side. Governors had that read all the way as Reagan Bolweg is able to track him down first. He's going to actually lose a yard, and it's going to be Fahey that made the catch, and it's going to be 2nd down and 11 from the 36.
Yeah, Fahey on the slot on the far side, just a catch and go. Just stood up on not even really a bubble screen, because I don't think he had any blockers out in front of him, but just throw it out and see what he can get out of it. And Fahey immediately closed on by Cord Ellis. Good open field tackle by the Governors.
2nd and 11 as Vilhauer, he'll keep it himself. He'll cut back from the far side, trying to keep it inbound. Well, I don't even know he's trying to keep it inbounds, but we'll keep it inbounds to the 42-yard line, a gain of 6. And it's 3rd and about 5 here for Mitchell.
Yeah, and Vilhauer is doing a nice job running with some passion, running hard when he makes that read, again, out of the option. Governor's really doing a nice job closing down on Phillips and really not letting him get any production here. But Vilhauer able to pull the ball on the option, and once he's able to get outside, not only does he, like I said, does he run hard, but he's got good speed, and he's showing and keeping this drive moving for the Colonels.
3rd and 5 for the 42. Handoff, trying to move forward. Not going to get much of anything. And it's going to be 4th down. Grossteter will have no gain, and it's 4th and 5 for the Colonels inside their own territory. And with 20 seconds to go, the Colonels can just wait for the fourth quarter to get here and talk about what they want to do here, because you're down by 28. This game is not over, but if you don't get it here on 4th down, it almost turns into being over because the guys have a real short field to work with.
Yeah, and this is a situation where the Colonels have to get points off this drive. I mean, they almost have to get a touchdown on this drive. So, in all likelihood, they probably will go for it here on 4th down, but not before we start the fourth quarter.
We will step aside for a minute, come back with the fourth quarter. Governors lead 35-7 over the Mitchell Colonels. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. as the Mitchell Colonels actually punt the ball away, and it will be down at the 33-yard line. So they will concede the ball back to the Pierre Governors as they lead by 28 going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised the Colonels decided to punt that ball, again, down 35-7 at the start of the fourth quarter, needing points, not having a lot of success. Able to move the ball on that drive, having some opportunities and getting some good positive yardage, but decided to punt the ball, and the Governors will take over on their own 33-yard line.
First and 10 for that 33. The Governors score and get the extra point. They will have that running clock moving, and they're going to try and throw, and that's going to be dropped by Bergman. And it'll be second and 10. Maybe throw a little bit behind Colin Bergman, as a couple of different Governors potentially had a chance to make a catch. Looked like they're getting open for the Governors, but it's second and 10 here from the 33.
Yeah, Brueggemann coming from his tight end position on the near side, just on the crossing route, had the ball in his hands for a fraction of a second before it fell incomplete.
Second and 10 here for the Pierre Governors from the 33-yard line. A quick pitch to McGuire Rasky, and Rasky will pick up enough for a first down. He's going to get out of bounds. They're going to get him out of the 47-yard line, a gain of 14 for the Pierre Governor running back, and it's first and 10.
Yeah, just kind of an option play where there really isn't an option. It's just a snap to Keenholz out of the pistol, and then just kind of that option pitch out to Rasky. Keenholz doesn't even really move, doesn't do any reads, just an option pitch out to Rasky. He gets to the edge and gets 14.
Keenholz looked to pass on first down. He's going to look for Bullwig and overshot Reagan Bullwig as he was open, just overthrew him. And second and 10 again. 11:38 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Governors lead 35-7.
Yeah, and Bullwig open, and Keenholz loaded up and threw a fastball on that play, and unfortunately for the Governors, just overthrew Bullwig just by about a yard. Bullwig actually was open and actually leading the defender. If he catches that ball in stride, it's off to the races.
Here, another pitch to the left side for Rasky. He'll get to the 50, passing, crossing midfield. He hops over a man. He's going to get enough for a first down as he gets inside the Colonel 40-yard line to about the 39, and close to a 15-yard gain for McGuire Rasky.
And again, just that same kind of quasi-option pitch, quasi-option play, and Keenholz this time took a left before he pitched the ball to Rasky, and then it's just all on Rasky to see what he can get out of it, and he's able to get a first down.
First and 10 for the 39-yard line. They're going to give it Rasky. He's going to dart up the middle. Otherwise, he was going to lose a lot of yards as the toss went to him, and the Colonels had it red, but McGuire Rasky, the speed, was able to get to the 35-yard line, picked up 4 yards, and it's second and 6. McGuire Rasky, 179 yards rushing here for this Pierre Governor offense.
Yeah, Josh Grosstedt coming from his outside linebacker position for the Colonels, really read that play well, came in, really almost broke it up, but forced Rasky back inside. Rasky lucky that he was able to get some positive yards out of the play, got about 3, and was able to Governors up in second and medium.
As he picks up another 4 yards to around the 31-yard line, so we'll make it 3rd and 2 here for the Pierre Governors. And McGuire Rasky closed in on the 200 mark here rushing, if he can pick up another 17 yards.
I don't think he's had a 200-yard rushing game this year, has he?
I don't believe so. I think he was close in one of those games. As Keenholz, he's going to scramble to his left. He's going to look to pass. He's going to throw, looking for the end zone, and trying to keep his feet in bounds. He did not keep his feet in bounds, as it was Jackson Edmond over there. And it'll end up being incomplete, and it's 4th down and 2. But that was a heck of a play from Jackson Edmond, nearly keeping his feet in bounds to make that play.
Yeah, and the Governors have a stable of really nice sophomore skill position players. Jackson Edmond, the wide receiver, Jack Merquan, the other wide receiver, Lincoln Keenholz, the starting quarterback. This Governor offense is not going to miss many beats come next year.
As they're going to go for it here on 4th and 2. Keenholz, he's going to be dropped down at the 30-yard line. I don't think he got it, as they read the play for the pitch to Rasky on the option, and he did not get it. He picked up a yard, and it'll be a turnover on downs here. And it will be Mitchell football with 10:18 to play here in the fourth quarter. That's a big stop there for the Mitchell Colonels. They're still down by 28 and not a lot of time to come back, but that's a one for the Mitchell Colonels defense to kind of start to build off of.
Yeah, and again, chalk one up to the Mitchell Colonel defense. They won that drive. Stopped the Governors on 4th and short. Keenholz just took it upon himself to try to get the middle, and he got closed down by the interior, the Mitchell Colonel offensive or defensive line, and they were able to stop him short.
Joe Van Overshield gets a big first down run. He'll get a first down as he gets from the 30 to around the 45, 46-yard line, a gain of 16 for Van Overshield. And that's a big first play from scrimmage for the Colonels, who have to score 4 times here in the next 10 minutes to make a comeback. It's not impossible, but it's improbable. But here for the Mitchell Colonels, we could be seeing a first-round matchup here between Pierre and Mitchell in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, 10 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Governors up 35-7. And again, Van Overshield just running that sweep to the far sideline, and that's been probably the most effective play for the Colonels all night long tonight.
Phillips gets the handoff right up the middle again. He gets across the 50-yard line, picks up about 4 yards for a 2nd and 6 here, as it'll be around actually more about 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5 as they get into Governor territory.
Yeah, and one of the challenges that this Colonel offense runs up against when you're down by 4 scores is it's really not built to score quickly unless you can get Parker Phillips out in space.
2nd and 5. Bill Howard's going to look to pass. He's going to throw over the middle. The ball is in. He's going to take it all the way to the house. And picks it for the Pierre Governors, and Reagan Bowling makes it 41-7 for the Pierre Governors.
48 yards on the interception return. Just, again, Bill Howard back to pass. I didn't see who tipped the ball at the line of scrimmage, but the ball went straight up in the air, came right down into the hands of Reagan Bolwig, and as soon as it settled into his breadbasket, it was just 48 yards the other way. It was a race he was going to win every time.
And Reagan Bolway, the defensive touchdown. The Governors now an extra point away. They can get the running clock started if Karsten Miller is able to make the extra points. They're up 41-7 with 9:15 to go here in the fourth quarter. Karsten Miller with Lincoln Keenholz the holder. The kick is going to be blocked again. So it's 41-7, and that's going to keep the running clock from starting by just a single point. 9:15 to go here in the fourth quarter. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here, 41-7, 9:15 left to go in the fourth quarter. Governors lead by 34 points. A single point away from getting that running clock started. Unfortunately, looks like it's going to be the case here. Is it going to be that single point that right now that keeps us from having a running clock and getting us out of here a little bit quicker? You are listening to KCCR Peary Riverfront Broadcasting Station.
Yeah, scores from around the state outside of double 11 AA. Into the third quarter, Stanley County in a defensive struggling Groton. The Buffaloes up 6-0. Mount Vernon Plankington at half leads Miller Highmore Herald 24-0. Rapid City Christian early in the third, all over in Jones County, White River 48-8. North Border 34, Hitchcock Tulare 22, midway third quarter. Edmond Central shutting out Sully Buttes 48-0 midway through the fourth quarter. Phillip leading Lyman 30-20 midway in the fourth quarter.
As Phillips gets the kickoff from Carson Miller, he gets hit and he's going to get thrown back as he just barely got to the 20-yard line. I don't think he actually got to the 20-yard line. So first and 10 here for the Mitchell Colonels, 9:08 to play in this fourth quarter. And that Sully Butte score, not necessarily for them to lose that game, doesn't mean that they're going to be out of the playoffs. It's that North Border up by 12 right now going into the fourth quarter. That's going to be the difference maker if they make the playoffs or not. Hitchcock Tulare trying to make a comeback and trying to help out the Chargers make the playoffs.
Yeah, score update, North Border now up 46-28 late in the third quarter.
That makes it a little bit harder. Now, instead of a 12-point game, it's an 18-point game, a 3-score lead for that North Border team. 9:08 to play here in the fourth quarter. First and 10 from the 19. Vilhauer's going to look to pass. He's going to throw it downfield. He's going to look for his man. It's going to be up. Cordell's going to make the catch. He falls over, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Mitchell Colonels. Parker Phillips is going to race it all the way in the end zone for a touchdown. As an 81-yard pass, Parker Phillips, Vilhauer's first passing touchdown of the season. And Mitchell makes it 41-13 with 8:50 to go.
Yeah, and just a go route for Phillips, and he's man on man with Cord Ellis, and Ellis actually in pretty good position, but unfortunately, Vilhauer throws a nice ball, hits Phillips in stride right over the top of Cord Ellis, and as Ellis went up to try to defend the pass, falls to the ground. Parker Phillips catches the ball in stride. There's nobody between him and the goal line, and the Governors give up the long touchdown pass.
But the extra point's going to be no good as the snap was bobbled, so it's going to be 41-13 with 8:56 left to go here in the fourth quarter. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Gunner Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. So the Governors lead by 28 still. It is 41-13, a one-play drive, 81-yard throw and catch from Vilhauer to Parker Phillips, and it is 41-13. I've seen a lot of Scoregazi or something like that from the unique scores in NFL.
Yep.
I've been seeing a lot of those been happening. Obviously, this is not going to be one that it would be that, but maybe we'll see some kind of unique score here. We don't see a lot of 41-13 scores.
Yeah, that's not one you see rolling through your scoreboard on a Friday night or a Saturday afternoon. But unfortunately for the Governors, you don't like to see your defense give up 81-yard touchdown plays. But if you're going to give up a play like that, best to give it up with less than 9 minutes to go, up by 5 scores. And so right now, Governors in an enviable position, up 41-13, 8:56 to go here in the fourth quarter.
As the ensuing kickoff will be grabbed by McGuire Rasky. He's out to the 20 of the 25-30. He'll escape one tackler. He's still going to the 40-yard line. Again, McGuire Rasky. He's circled by about 7 different Mitchell Colonels, and then somehow he still finds a way to pick up another 5 yards before he finally dropped down. First and 10 for the 40-yard line for the Pierre Governor offense with 8:47 to play here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and again, McGuire Rasky does not go down on first contact. He got through about 3 Mitchell Colonel arm tackles, and it finally took multiple Mitchell Colonels off of their kick unit to get him on the ground.
Key Knowles will look to pass on first down. He's going to step up, and he's going to run with it. He's going to get hit and knocked down around the 44, 45-yard line. A gain of 5 on that first down run for the sophomore quarterback who's got 92 yards and 11 carries here tonight.
Yeah, and just Keenhol's back, sitting in the pocket. And again, as the pocket forms around him, found an opening up in the middle and a good open field tackle by Van Overshield, who kind of serves as a spy on Keenhol's tonight.
Keenhol's will get another run. He's going to get past the 50-yard line into Mitchell territory. He's going to get past the 45 to the 43. And a good run there for Lincoln Keenhol's, a gain of 12. And a first down for the Governors.
And that should put him up over 100 yards rushing tonight.
104 yards on the ground. He's got 186 through the air with 3 touchdowns through the air for this Pierre Governor sophomore quarterback. Receiver on each side. High snap. He's able to drop it down to himself. And Keenholz will take off a broken play that Keenholz picks up another first down as he gets to around the 31-yard line. A gain of 12 for Lincoln Keenholz.
Yeah, and again, that high snap has been a little bit of a bugaboo for the Governors tonight, but that time Keenholz able to pull it down. Good hands, was able to pull it down and then make something out of nothing. Found, again, that hole up the middle and that's kind of been there all night, whether it's been there for him or Rasky, and was able to generate a first down out of it.
Rasky gets the handoff. He'll bounce to the right side, still inside the hash mark. Sees to get spun around, stays on his feet. Rasky's out to the 25 to the 20, where he gets down around the 15, maybe close to the 10-yard line. And McGuire Rasky does it again. He just does not go down on the first initial contact. I think he's inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, and what he did well was he got through the first level, only got about 3 or 4 yards, and then made a quick jump cut. He makes that kind of Barry Sanders kind of jump cut where is able to bounce out to the right and was able to pick up a couple yards, and then got wrapped up in an arm tackle, was able to get out of that, swung around, got to the edge, and was able to pick up about 15 more.
A throw for Matt Hansen in the end zone on a slant route is incomplete over the top of his head, and it'll fall incomplete, so it's 2nd and goal from the 10-yard line. McGuire Rasky has broken the 2-century mark, 205 yards on 24 carries for this Pierre Governor senior running back.
Yeah, to go with the 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, just to go along with the 4 touchdowns.
58 yards receiving? Yeah, just kind of a ho-hum night for McGuire Rasky.
I was going to say, nothing too special for McGuire Rasky here tonight. 2nd and 10, 2nd and goal from the 10, 7:28 to go here in the 4th quarter. Rasky got the handoff again, bounces it. He's going to try and get forward, and Rasky is going to get in the end zone for another time. McGuire Rasky.
Into the end zone for another.
Oh, he is in. Okay.
They call him in as 47-13. Extra point away for making a 35-point lead again here for the Pierre Governor. 7:22 to go. A 10-yard touchdown run for McGuire Rasky. His 3rd rushing touchdown, 5th time he's been in the end zone here tonight.
Yeah, I did not see either of the linesmen on either side signal touchdown. I finally, just after you said that, saw the referee behind the play actually made the signal.
Carson Miller, extra point. That one to go off the upright, and it goes through. And when it's going well for the Pierre Governors. Off the left upright, and it goes through not a double doink. It's just a doink that goes in. It's 48-13, 7:22 left to go in the 4th quarter. We need to take a break. 30 seconds. We'll come back. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. 7:22 left to go here in the 4th quarter. It was a 6-play drive, 10-yard touchdown run for McGuire Rasky. The extra point went off the left upright, went in, and it's a 35-point lead. So the running clock will start here after the ensuing kickoff from this Pierre Governor team. And this is great. This is what you like to see from this Pierre Governor offense.
Yeah, and they're doing everything they need to do tonight. Just putting up just a mass of yards, and they're doing it on in a very balanced attack. I mean, they've run the ball really well, they've thrown the ball really well, they've spread their options out in the receiving game. They just have done a lot of good things. I think we're going to hear a lot of praise out of Steve Steele tonight when we get him here in the post-game interview.
As again, 7:15 is left. 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. As it will start that clock from the 25. It will be from the 26-yard line, I should say. 1st and 10 from the 26 for the Mitchell Colonels. 7 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Running clock is moving here for the Colonels, who are down by 35 points. As Vilhauer will make a quick throw to the left side. As trying to get over to it, and here goes another long run for the Metro Colonels, and he's going to take it all the way to the house. Back-to-back plays for the Colonels are going to go for a touchdown. Parker Phillips again, and Phillips
64 yards.
64 yards for a touchdown, and Vilhauer and Phillips have gotten 2 touchdowns in the last 2 plays.
Yeah, and again, if you're Sean Lewis, the Pierre Governor defensive coordinator, like I said, you don't like giving up one long pass play, but you can live with it being up 48-13. when you give up back-to-back long pass plays, that's going to be a concern. And so again, something that the Governors have to work out is the fact that sometimes their secondary gets picked on a little bit, and that's kind of what's happened here in the fourth quarter tonight.
Extra point is good. 48-20, 6:40 to go here in the fourth quarter. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, 48-20 with 6:40 to play here in the fourth quarter. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean as the Governors, they lead by 28 yet again. And back-to-back plays for the Mitchell Colonels have gone all the way for long touchdown passes from Bill Howard to Parker Phillips.
Yeah, and again, we talked about the big play capability of Parker Phillips, and the Governors have done everything they've needed to do to keep Phillips from being a factor in the run game. And they really did a good job through 3+ quarters and keeping him off the board in the passing game. It's just unfortunately now the Colonels have put two long pass plays in Phillips' hands, and he scored on both of them.
Brock Mosier will field it all the way back at the 1 yard line, and he's going to be dropped around the 24.
Brock Mosier on the return.
And it'll be first and 10 here for the Governors with 6:34 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Now I believe the running clock is stopped with it being 28 points game now, as it'll be for the Governors have to try and score again and get that extra point to get the running clock rolling. Actually, it will start again, so we have the running clock still going, the 28-point lead here in the 6:30 to play in the fourth quarter.
And we got a new quarterback in for the Governors and a new running back.
So the first snap here from the 24-yard line, Kate Kaiser will hand it off as there'll be nowhere running for Matt Kruger. So Matt Kruger, his first run goes to the back of guard.
We'll try to get names and numbers in for this second unit for the Governor offense as they now are in the game. Kate Kaiser manning the offense, the 160-pound freshman quarterback,
As a low snap, Kaiser will keep it himself right up the middle. Kaiser breaks free, tried to break free, get first down as they'll get to the 34-yard line, a gain of 11 for Kate Kaiser.
Yeah, and just kind of that designed run we saw a lot of the last couple of years for Garrett Stout. Kate Kaiser, even though he's only a freshman, very, very gifted athletically and runs hard, and he's able to make a first down going over that right side of the Governor offensive line.
Two receivers out to the left side. Kaiser in an empty backfield. He's going to look to pass here on first down. He's going to throw towards the flat. The catch is made on the sideline. And still up with it is Trey Lewis. And Lewis will get enough for a first down as he'll get to the 50-yard line. A gain of 16 for Trey Lewis.
Yeah, and just an out route and a nice ball from Kaiser to Lewis. Caught it about 8 yards downfield, and then Lewis escapes a tackler and gets a couple of yards after catch and is able to make a first down. The Governors have the ball right at the 50-yard line.
Those that have been around the South Dakota sports around Pierre, either playing against or for, you're going, another Kaiser is going to come through here. Other opposing teams are probably not too happy that they see another last name of Kaiser on a Pierre football team. 45-yard line, a 5-yard run for Kaiser, and it's 2nd and 5.
Yeah, just that designed run right up the middle, and Kaiser makes good positive yardage out of it.
4:10 left to go and counting here in the fourth quarter. The Governors are going to move to 5-2 in the season. Have one more game. They're going to play just 8 games here in the regular season. They'll play next Thursday against the Douglas Patriots. Receiver out to the right side. Kaiser will hand off. Kruger gets the handoff. Matt Kruger, he gets thrown down. A suplex as they'll go to the 34-yard line. Brock Mosier got the handoff.
Like I said, we'll try to get some recognition for these second team offensive linemen. 74 is Christian Bush. 78 is Jay Sharon. 73 is Gavin Stotts. 72 is Kyle Albertson. 77 Brady Getz.
Taking the pitch on the option was Kaiser. He's going to be thrown to the ground, and it'll bring up fourth down here for the Governors with 3:15 and counting in this fourth quarter. It'll be 4th and 2 here, and really, Pierre's almost in. They can put the ball away from their own 42-yard line, it looks like they are going to try and put the ball away. And this is one where Coach Steele says we're up by 28. We got a running clock. We're going to get our punting unit out, our first team punting unit out, and say, all right, we got to work on our punts in the middle of a game, because if it comes down to it, if we got to play field position, we need a good punt here late in the season in the playoffs.
Yeah, and again, special teams, kind of the forgotten units of a lot of football teams, but oftentimes play a real key role and can make and break a lot of football teams. And so anytime you got an opportunity to work on your special teams play, it's a real plus.
As he'll be fielded around the 10-yard line, cutting it back to the 25, to the 30-yard line, and it'll be to the 35, where it'll be Bryce Palmer is taken down at the 35. So 2:13 to go here in the fourth quarter. As 1st and 10.
And the Governors are going to roll out. Looks like their second string unit. I see number 9, Jake Mayer at the cornerback slot. Number 8, Spencer Kelly at the safety position. Brady Getz along with Christian Bush have their hand on the ground at the defensive line position. So have an opportunity for some of these sophomores and freshmen to get some playing time under the lights here on Friday night.
Jake Helloyd will get the handoff. He'll get past the 45 to around the 48-yard line. Again, a 13 for Helloyd, and it's 1st and 10 for this Mitchell Colonel team. Under 2 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. The Governors are going to improve to 4 and 2 in the season. And all mixed up with having one less game, and we're in week 8, and they only played their 7th game of the season. 3-yard gain, 2-yard gain for, I believe, Helloyd. And it's 2nd and 8 here for Mitchell. As homecoming night, another successful win for the Pierre Governors.
Yep, and after the game, we will have the burning of the letters, traditionally done after coronation, because of some changes in the schedule this year for a variety of reasons. Burning of the letters in the east end zone tonight. Following that, the fireworks under the guidance of Tom Rounds and the rest of his crew, and that's always quite a show. And so lots of festivities here to finish off homecoming week for the Pierre Governors.
48 seconds left to go. Jaden Floor on the tackle, and the guys are about one play away here from getting the win. And we'll talk with some of the players of the game coming up here at the end of our broadcast, as we'll have Coach Steele on as well in our post-game show. 35 seconds left to go as the Colonels have one more snap here, and it'll be a big sack there for the Governors. Trying to see who that was, as is it Gary Nedved that got there along with I want to say, number 79, Alec Pickard, because it looked like at first 75. I don't think Preston Taylor had that, was part of that. But it'd be 4th down, and a 4th down for the 50-yard line, loss of 3, and it's 4th and 8. But I think that is going to do it. It will do it. 48-20. The Governors win here on homecoming night. Let's step aside for 3 minutes, and we'll come back with our post-game show. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today is KCCR. Today is KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, it is the post-game show as the Pierre Governors, they take down the Mitchell Colonels 48-20 here tonight. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. A lot of homecoming festivities are still going to go on, and we'll talk some of the player of the games as well. And could be a little bit later of a little bit longer of a post-game show with a lot more going on here tonight. With the Pierre Governors, 534 total yards of offense here to 359 for the Mitchell Colonels. A lot of offense in this game. But the Governors were the much better team offensively.
Yeah, and for the Colonels, a lot of that offense came on those two long pass plays late in the quarter. So the Governors really did a nice job, I think, defensively. That yardage total is maybe a little deceptive because of that 145 yards on those two long pass plays. But I thought the Governors did a really nice job, especially with the run defense. And we talked about that in the pregame, that was going to be a real key. It was kind of be a strength versus strength, because that was going to be the strength of the Colonel offense versus the strength of the Governor defense. And tonight, the Governor defense won that battle.
Yeah, Parker Phillips had 21 yards on 12 carries. Bill Howard 92 yards on 14 carries. But yeah, the rushing attack had 208 yards in total, and really just never got fully going. They had 208 yards, but they just never really got going after that first drive.
Yeah, and where the Colonels were successful on the ground was really the quarterback Vilhauer, and then kind of that counter, that kind of sweep to the far side to Van Overshield. He had 6 carries for 48 yards. A young man who is kind of underutilized in the running game, and so basically, I think what the Governor game plan tonight looked to be was take away Phillips and make somebody else beat you, and that's what happened tonight. Is they made somebody else beat them, and that didn't happen tonight.
Anyway, bring in our usual player of the game, and McGuire Rasky, and not enjoy the fireworks, but you had a lot of fireworks here tonight. You had 5. You look at your stats right here. You had 200 yards. You had 200 on there.
200 flat?
205 overall.
I had to deal with the linemen. 5 more yards, and they would have got it.
I can quickly change that here and make it 210 if you want.
I'll take it.
You take it. But you scored 5 times. You had 3 rushing touchdowns and 2 receiving touchdowns. Talk about how you're able to get that job done. Talk about the offensive line that helped you get the job done.
Oh, we had a good push on the front. I noticed their outside linebackers weren't really playing in the box, and I tried taking advantage of it as best as I could. And our linemen, they just got up and got to the second level, and I did what I could, and we came out with a victory.
Yeah, and we talked about how well the offensive line played tonight, because there was some holes you had tonight going up the middle that you could have driven a Mack truck through. I mean, and then when you got through that first level, you were able to not only make yards after contact, but then also bounce some stuff out to the outside as well.
Yeah, it's a thing I've been working on, not just staying straight up the middle, but looking for that outside, trying to get a big run every now and then.
Defensively for you guys, we're able to hold the running game kind of quiet. The 2 passes at the end of the game here, they will score on 2 late passes, but really held them to about 7 points the entire game.
Yeah.
And that's pretty big for you guys. Again, your run defense is your strength, and you guys showed it again tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, teams want to run on us. I mean, we can stop it all day. I feel like we kind of proved it tonight and in Brookings. I mean, we got a good run defense, and that's all we got. That's all I can say. I mean, we got a good pass defense too. We just make simple mistakes, and they take advantage of it, and they know. But we're working on everything. We're always improving, looking to get better every week.
Yeah, we thought up here defensively, you guys did a nice job, probably as good a job as you've done all night, all year long. Because coming into the game, it was kind of a marquee matchup of you and Parker Phillips, 2 of the best running backs, not only in just 11 AA, but in all of South Dakota.
Yeah.
And you guys really did a nice job bottling him up tonight. Kept him 21 yards on 12 carries. I mean, that's really an amazing feat, as talented as he is.
I know. Yeah. He's a good running back. We're a good run defense team. We stopped him. Not much to say.
But now you guys get Douglas, short week to finish out the season. Obviously, the ultimate goal, well, one, to get a win, but then the ultimate goal is to get everybody healthy. How do you make sure that happens next week?
Get up quick, score quick, get the starters out as soon as we can, if that's possible. I mean, always working to score points, but I mean, they're a good team. They got a big D line, I know, but we're looking to score fast, get our starters out of there, and just look for the playoffs.
Yankton did beat Douglas here tonight, but it was 7-7 at halftime. I mean, they kind of, like you said, a big defensive line. They have some strengths. That
they do.
You're so successful after that.
Well, we ran the same play a couple times, and I noticed that their linebackers weren't following our receiver, so I hit him, and we got a couple passes that went pretty long. So
The other thing that we thought you did well tonight was when you saw an opening, you really took advantage of it. You pulled the ball down, and you made some nice runs, not only up the middle, but you were able to bounce to the outside a couple of times, and actually ended up with over 100 yards rushing on your own. So you had a nice night both running and passing. What did you see in the run game? That was that part of the game plan, or is that something you just kind of did on your own tonight?
well, passing, like when I noticed that there's a defensive lineman coming at me, then I can see that, so then I just want to bust up the middle, see if I can get some yards off of that.
Yeah, a couple of the snaps got a little high to you, but you're a couple of times you're able to bring that down. And one play looked like you're about ready to pitch it over to McGuire, and there's no way for you to make that happen. You're able to make a couple of big plays, but the offensive line gave you a lot of good holes again tonight.
Yeah, they did. They opened up the middle for me, and I ran through that, made a guy miss, and then got good running yards. Yeah.
How nice is it to have McGuire Rask in the backfield with you?
Oh, it's nice. Super nice. Yep.
Yeah, we asked Coach Steele 2 weeks ago, does McGuire Rasky make your job easy, Coach Steele? So we'll ask you the same question. Does he make your job easy?
Very easy, because then when after a big pass play, then they're expecting another pass, hand off to McGuire, he runs for.
Even when they're expecting to run, it's still easy to get the ball
it
to
is.
McGuire. Yeah. So, but now you guys, again, we'll get Douglas here on Thursday. As you progress through the season, what's been the biggest, I guess, the most difficult part of progressing through this season for you guys, or for you personally?
Probably having to make reads and trying to get the ball out quicker, because I don't have a lot of time in the pocket. So yeah, just making reads quicker.
And as you've gotten later in, especially here tonight, do you feel like you did a pretty good job of that?
I did.
I would say we could see it up here that I think you did a very good job of that. Yep. But that was good. As the season goes on, sophomore quarterback and first time up here. How nervous are you right now?
Pretty nervous. Yeah.
Well, I feel like you're going to get pretty used to. You're going to be like McGuire, you're going to get pretty used to being up here pretty soon.
Hopefully.
Well, good. So let me just kind of dovetail off that last question. How's your confidence improved over the year?
Oh, it's been going up a lot. After the first game, I wasn't really confident with my passing or anything, but now I'm really confident in making the right decision and throwing. So.
Well, good. Well, congratulations. Nice night tonight.
Thank you.
Yep. We'll see you Thursday against Douglas.
Thank you very much.
Lincoln Keno, sophomore quarterback. We'll start the defensive line here. I believe who's going to go first? Is it going to be Jace Beestrom, or we're going to go
alphabetically, huh?
Yeah, you go Jace Beestrom here. So, all right, Jace, first time for you to get up here and talk with us here. You guys, the Pierre Governor defense is known to stop the run, and teams, like last week against Brookings, they got the win. But Barai did not get a whole lot of yards. Here against with Parker Phillips, who had 1,300 yards coming in, you held him to 21 yards. I know it's not just the defensive line, but it starts with the defensive line. How are you guys able to make that happen for him to have only 21 yards rushing?
I mean, if all of us are eating up blocks, someone else has to get it. That's how I look at it. And we just play good team defense, stop the run, and good team defense, stop the pass. And as long as all 11 of us are focused, we'll get the job done.
Was that kind of the game plan coming into tonight on the defensive side of the ball, was to try to take Phillips away whenever possible and try to make somebody else beat you?
Yep. Our game plan on defense is to stop the run, we make them pass, like we're going to be in a good spot.
Do you like the run defense or the pass defense more?
I like the run defense more, being able just to bear down and have fun.
So next week against Douglas, you guys are sitting in a situation where you're probably going to end up probably in that third spot, that third seed. How do you go into that game and then try to build any momentum going into the playoffs?
Well, getting a win with any game can always build momentum. My goal, or our team's goal, is hopefully just to win the game. when it starts to matter, hopefully just get it done.
And you know, ask McGuire offensively for you guys to make sure everybody's healthy. Defensively, what's it going to take to make sure everybody's healthy coming out of that game?
Like he said, get up fast. Hopefully we can get the starters out early, get some new kids playing, get something rolling, get a little experience for next year.
Good. And so we'll kind of ask you maybe the same question we asked Lincoln. As this season has progressed, how has your confidence level, because you're playing both sides of the ball, you're playing both offensive line and defensive line, how has your confidence level progressed through the year?
It's rising for sure. It's fun playing both ways. It's fun being on the field a lot. But after first game, I will admit I was pretty nervous. But now I can just go on the field and just have fun. And that's what I think all of our boys are starting to get. We're just getting out there and having fun.
Are you more nervous for this review or for the first game of the season?
First game of the season.
All right, there you go. I like that answer. Jason, congratulations on the win. We'll see you next Thursday back here against Douglas. As we now pass it along to Gunnar Gehring, and you're making a case to come up here every week, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not that kind of a guy that likes to come and do an interview, but I guess it's fun.
Yeah, so you enjoy it because it's always.
That means I played good, I guess.
Yeah.
John and I aren't scary people. I mean, he's just talking to us two.
Yeah, we're a little bit more scared of you than you probably are of us. But talk about, again, you know, we asked Jason this question, but we'll ask you too. What made you guys so successful against stopping the running tonight?
I think everyone was doing their job. We had linebackers also come up. It wasn't just D-line. We all were holding our gaps. Like if we got double teamed, we'd take up two guys, and other guys would just come in and fill.
You not only you, but Preston and Jace all had times tonight at different times where you really were creating havoc in the backfield. I mean, I know a lot of times you guys really kind of have to give yourselves up to kind of free up your linebackers to get some free runs. But tonight, you guys were all at different times busting up plays in the backfield. Maybe talk a little bit about how you were able to get through that Mitchell offensive line, because they're an athletic bunch up front.
I think you're just getting off the ball and using your hands and stuff. I'm pretty sure that's all three of us did was just getting off the ball quick and getting past that line.
You guys take on Douglas next week. And again, you know, told McGuire that they were tied 7-7 at halftime against Yankton. So they're improving as the season goes on, just like every team wants to be improving. But your initial thoughts against them going into next week?
Game's game. Doesn't matter about the record. We just need to get the win.
All right, give it up one more
So
time for
how
Doug.
important is it for you to have not only a home game next week, but then to roll and build momentum going into the playoffs and have that first playoff game at home?
It's pretty important. We want to have as much confidence as we have going into the playoffs. So, it's really important that we get that win.
Gunnar, congratulations on the win. We'll see you next Thursday against Douglas.
Thank you.
As we pass it along now to Preston Taylor, our final player of the game. And Preston, I'll start off like I asked the other two guys. What made you guys so successful against stopping the run against Mitchell tonight?
I think a lot of it is just the way that our coach sets it up. He's a great defensive coordinator. He sets it up so that, you know, we spend a lot of time watching film, knowing how they're going to run and the way that they line up their guys, so that when we saw them, we were able to call out those plays and just be able to hit them hard.
Yeah, and you know, I think all three of you did a really nice job tonight getting off your blocks, shedding your blocks, really getting into the backfield because Mitchell's got some running backs that not only are and Phillips is kind of that small, shifty, speedy guy, but then they kind of balance that. Vilhauer runs hard. Van Overshield runs hard. Grossdidier runs hard. So you guys kind of had to be ready, on a variety of different levels for a multifaceted run game.
Mm-hmm. It's being prepared. Like we've seen them, we've played those guys before, and like I said, when we were watching film, we just watched those guys and how they were gonna line up and run against us. We knew where they were gonna go, and we pursued the ball whichever direction it went, and that's what we had to do.
You as the nose tackle, the nose tackle is kind of a thankless job sometimes because the stats aren't usually there for that nose tackle. But talk about how successful you've been, because I mean, even some of your stats are still are really good for a nose tackle. But talk about how sometimes that could be a little bit harder because you don't get the credit for the tackles like other guys do.
Yeah. being the nose tackle can be hard just because it's, I like you guys said, it frees up for linebackers. But a lot of the time, like there's several plays tonight where I have to take a specific gap, and then the running back takes the other gap, or the quarterback, goes the other direction, whatever, and you just don't have time to get to him. But my job comes down to making a mess in the middle, creating havoc, and just blowing the guy in front of me out of the water. So,
did you see anything different tonight from Mitchell than what you were expecting and what you'd seen on film?
Yeah, a couple things here and there, just not much. Watched quite a bit of film, prepared myself pretty well. There was a couple more plays than I expected that they were going to double team, and there's their left-handed guard. I didn't think that he was going to double team as much as he did, but it's just you go in, whatever happens, and you just hit it.
You'd make a great color commentator someday for football. I mean, your knowledge and hey,
don't give away my job just yet.
Okay, well, he's still got a long time to go here. He's still got plenty of time, but yeah, the knowledge and the description that you have of what you do, I just wanted to throw that out there for you. So if somebody ever says like, hey, you want to come help me with the radio, could be me someday. Greg might retire someday, and it might be me. So don't say no right away. Think about that.
Okay.
But as you go against Douglas here next week to close out the regular season, what personally for you, and I guess for the defense and even offensively too, what do you want from this team to move in the playoffs?
I want us to make some major plays again, like we did last year. There was a lot of major plays right off the bat. Whether it be I'm going to give myself credit a little bit. I had a safety the first play of the game, and right after that we had several quick stops, quick 4 downs, and it's just going to be one of those games where you go in, you hit them hard, you go back out. It's no different than any of the other teams. It's just you do your job. One
last question: What's it going to take for this Pierre Governor team to make another deep run into the playoffs?
A lot of focus, a lot of not messing around. Just getting into practice, busting it out, and having everyone focused and their head on straight, ready to come to practice every day and just do what they're supposed to do and be ready.
And you guys have been a part of a lot of the state championship run, so you guys will be leaned on to make sure that focus. How do you make sure that happens in practice? A lot
of it is that there's a lot of the younger guys that look at it as we've won before. We'll do it again, and so you have to kind of beat that out of them. Just it's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be an easy win. You have to be prepared for that not to happen. You have to be prepared for the fight and the anxiety and the stress and the stuff that come with that. But you gotta, like they said, prepare some of the younger guys for it and make sure that they're ready, same as you're ready, just to go out there and hit them hard. Be ready.
Preston, congratulations on the win. We'll see you next Thursday against Douglas. As Preston Taylor, the last player of the game, and now comes the head coach of the Pierre Governors, and that is Coach Steve Steele. And all right, Coach, you had the defensive line up here, Lincoln Keenholz, McGuire, Rasky. You guys played a pretty complete game, outside those last two offensive plays for Mitchell where they scored on those two pass plays. But overall, you got to be pretty proud of your team's effort here tonight.
Yeah, I think, all the way top to bottom, I think this was a phenomenal team effort. I mean, take away that first drive, and I thought our defense adjusted really, really well after that and really shut them down the rest of the game. Those last two plays were, whatever, that was about half their yardage. So, I mean, very proud of our defense, just the way they responded. And again, they gave up some yards, they gave up some first downs, but ultimately they didn't give up points, which is what matters. And, it was a lot of fun to see our offense really clicking. I think that was one of those games where you really felt like we were clicking against a good opponent and really being able to move the ball up and down the field.
We could well have given the player of the game to the entire offensive line because they were just opening hole after hole after hole, and McGuire Rasky could there were times when he could have picked his hole. I mean, he had multiple holes to come through, and Lincoln Keenholz was able to pull the ball down. He had over 100 yards rushing tonight. How has that offensive line grown and just established themselves as one of the better units, not only in 11AA, but maybe across all of 11-man football in South Dakota?
I just think you're really seeing it start to come together. And I think last week, obviously, it was a little different style of a game, but this week I think you just really saw our guys go out there and just
try to manhandle their opponent. And, I think you really saw us wear them down. I think that was one of the keys, I think, to this game is you just saw the first half was still kind of a dogfight, and then you just saw the conditioning and that physicality overtake in the second half. And, you can't say enough about our offensive line. They just do a really good job.
McGuire-Askey had 205 yards. Actually, he did have 215 yards overall. I think he was 210 is his limit to buy the offensive line some donuts. So I think he actually does have that has to do that. But overall, he had 332 rushing yards, 202 passing yards, 534 yards of total offense. That is, the Pierre Governors of and even of games past here this year, but really saw this offense really click here tonight. Had that interception on the first pass attempt, but after that, he had a turnover on downs and a punt at the end of the game, and the other time was at halftime. You ran out of time to try and score. So this is the Pierre Governors that we're used to seeing of scoring just about every time they have the ball. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun just to see our guys really find the rhythm, find their tempo, and really just play lights out. And that was what a game by Lincoln Kienholz. That's I personally I think that was a phenomenal effort from him. When we opened a lot of holes for McGuire, he had a great game. But then they really started to load that box, especially in the second quarter. They switched actually to a 5-2 front, and it was something we'd never seen on film. They had 5 guys with their hand in the ground on the line of scrimmage and 2 guys behind them. And, it was pretty clear that we are doing whatever we have to do to stop McGuire-Askey. And, they challenged us to throw the ball, and Lincoln did a phenomenal job, not just throwing it, but, really I thought he had great pocket presence, being able to step up and find those escape lanes to run as well. So, it was really good to see him grow up really good tonight.
That's what I was just going to ask. He's had some good nights stat-wise through the year, but I think we saw kind of a maturation tonight. And maybe a little bit of a coming out party for Lincoln Kienholz. Really kind of a night where he really kind of you saw him just kind of take that next step up and just establish himself as certainly one of the best quarterbacks in 11 AA.
Yeah, that the touchdown to McGuire was one of the most beautiful throws, I think. You could not throw that ball any better than he threw that ball. McGuire running with his hands out could have closed his eyes and squeezed when he felt it, and it was there. Even I know this one was incomplete, but it's the last rollout where we threw it to Jackson Edmond down the corner. We just ran out of real estate there. But again, he really did a good job accelerating around the corner, flipping his hips and throwing strikes. So it's going to be pretty fun and pretty scary for a lot of teams if once you really commit to shutting down McGuire in the box, then if we're able to throw the ball.
Yeah, and we look at some of his best games this year. It is multiple guys making multiple catches, or at least multiple guys making a catch. And he threw to 5 different receivers, and I think that's almost like the magic number for him. If he can throw to 5 and make completions of 5 different guys, he has himself a great night. And here was probably, like you said, it was his best night as a Pierre Governor, as a starting quarterback.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. And, like I said, it's a lot of fun to be seeing this right now. This is what we keep preaching to our guys over the course of the season, that, hey, this regular season is about growth. It's about improvement and about getting ready to play your best football when it comes to the end of October, and we're getting close.
So you don't want to, look past this year quite yet, because you got a deep run coming in the playoffs. But as you look at the guys that you put on the field, especially your skill position guys, how excited are you for the next year or two with a sophomore quarterback, a sophomore wide receiver who's led your team in receiving out of the split end position, and Jack Merquan the last couple of weeks? You talked about Jackson Edmond and the quality receiver that he's going to be as he matures and gets some game experience under his belt. From an offensive coordinator position that you have, how exciting is that going to be over the next couple of years?
It's going to be good. It's going to be a lot of fun, and that's whenever you have multiple weapons, I think that's where you can really take off as an offense. And, hopefully that's what we're starting to see now. We're starting to see some more people emerge, other than if we're passing, you've got to cover Reagan. And if we're running, you got to stop McGuire. Lincoln being able to use his legs is another dimension to our run game. A Jack Merquan, a Jackson Edmond, all these different names catching the ball add more dimensions to that receiving and passing game as well. So, it's going to be huge this year, but it's going to be a lot of fun going forward too.
Preston Taylor asked him about making the deep playoff run, and he said it kind of starts with being focused at practice. And how awesome is that to hear as a coach that he is trying to get himself focused and the rest of the team focused, not just in game time, but through practice every day that they come through the next week and the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean it's absolutely essential. I mean you're looking at this team. I mean a lot of these guys have ridden they've been along for the ride for the last few years, and now it's their turn to drive. And it's every team is a little bit different. And I think last year's team was a lot more just business. They were all let's go and get work done and do what we need to do and go beat people and come back and work. And this year's group is just they're a lot. I don't want to say lax, but they're just a little more fun loving. They're a little bit more happy-go-lucky, and it's just a little bit different scenario. And I think that's our job as coaches is to learn the team and just find the ways to push the buttons that we need to motivate them. And it's really good to hear and see those guys starting to step up and really start to turn their focus over.
So as you put this game behind you and you begin to look towards Douglas next week, what can you tell us, at least from your initial understanding of what they can do? I mean, they had Yankton tied up at halftime 7-7 tonight, so we know that even though they're just a one-win ball club, they can present some problems for you.
Yeah, I think Douglas has just kind of been the close but no cigar team of the year. I mean, they've done this to a lot of teams, where they really they frustrate their opponent in the first half, and then they just kind of run out of gas, it seems like. And they run the ball. They've got a very big line. Their line, I think, probably averages 280, 290. They're big boys. They've got a few really athletic big boys. And then if you let them hold on to the ball, again, without obviously having watched the game, I mean, I would assume that they probably were able to hold the ball on the first half against Yankton. And then, if they get behind, they just don't have the capabilities of coming back. But, that's going to be a challenge for us.
Short week against Douglas. You go through what's going to be the top thing to come out of next week for you guys.
The big thing we're going to have to do, like Preston said, is we're just going to have to be focused. It's a short week of practice. You add in our JV game Monday, and it's a really short week of practice, like extremely short. So we've just got to make sure that we're focused, and then we really make the best out of the practice or two that we're actually going to get. And then, like we said, keep improving for this last week before the real season begins.
Coach, appreciate the time. Congratulations on the win. We'll talk to Coach's Corner on Wednesday, but we'll also see you next Thursday back here. Final home game of the regular season against Douglas.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Coach Steve Steele, the Pierre Governors, they win here tonight 48-20 over the Mitchell Colonels. John Wickler alongside Greg Dean as we wrap things up here on this evening. We'll have some baseball for you, the Braves and Dodgers after we're concluded here. But Greg, your final thoughts here on the win for the Governors.
Yeah, just a very, I think the kind of performance that Coach Steele and the rest of the coaching staff was looking for. They cleaned up some things that maybe had haunted them over the last couple of weeks. Not much in terms of penalties tonight, other than those two long pass plays in the fourth quarter. Just a really, really solid defensive effort for the Governors, and then just clicking on all cylinders offensively. Over 500 yards of offense. Just a really, really great performance from Lincoln Keenholz tonight. I think we saw him take a step up tonight, and then just when we think we've used all the superlatives about McGuire Rasky, what's he do tonight? He goes off for 200 plus yards rushing, 5 TDs, 58 yards receiving. I don't know. I just don't know quite what else to say about the young man.
We kind of said that about Garrett Stout last year. We were running out of things. We kept talking to him every week. We were running out of things to say, and he just kept doing more to say, well, now we got to find something else to say about him because he does something more and more and more. And that's what we want to see here for this Pierre Governor team, is for Rasky to continue. You don't want him to say, well, he didn't have a good night tonight. We don't want to hear that at any point the rest of the year. We want to hear to say he's left us speechless again.
Yep, absolutely. And so you just got to keep him moving forward and keep that offense clicking, and keep every opponent that the Governors are going to face from now on their heels. And next week's the last week of the regular season, and then it's the start of the playoffs. Like every coach says, you start 0-0 and you see how far you can go. And it looks like the Governors will probably slot in at number 3, regardless of what happens next week. And so they'll end up playing the number 6 seed. That first game will be here at Hollister Field, and then you just kind of see where you go from there.
Governors will take on Douglas next Thursday. Kickoff will be at 6 o'clock. Pregame around 5:35 right here on today's KCCR. Tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock for first serve, but 1:45 for pregame between the Pierre Governors as they take on Spearfish in the volleyball action at Riggs High School. So we'll have that for you tomorrow night as their homecoming festivities continue here tonight for the Pierre Governors. But they win here, the Governors, on homecoming nights. As I'll wrap things up for us here from Hollister Field. Thanks to Jen Hanna back in the station. For Greg Dean to my left, I'm John Winkler. Governors, they get a win on homecoming against Mitchell, now 5-2 in the season as they beat the Colonels 48-20, as we say good night from Hollister.